And we welcome you to Chanute High School, the site of tonight's game between the Pittsburg Purple Dragons and your Chanute Blue Comets. I'm Brett Shields, along with me, Jay McGeary. Jay, it's senior night here at Chanute High School, the final home game of the regular season. As things stand right now, it does appear that the boys will get a home sub-state game. Girls will be on the road, as they've pretty much locked that in. So this will be the final home game of the season for the girls. And before we get into that, let me be the first, well, probably not the first, but let me be one of many to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs on a Super Bowl victory this past Sunday night.
Oh, there was a game Sunday?
You knew I was going to start with that, right?
I knew you was.
Jay, I showed up wearing the championship T-shirt and hat tonight, all right?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be jealous.
No, because even if my team would have played and won, I still wouldn't have bought that stuff.
Yeah, you would have?
No, I wouldn't.
You liar. Hey, at least one of your former players was involved in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, did you see him out there?
No.
Former quarterback?
Jalen Hurts?
No, former Commanders / Redskins quarterback.
Who's that?
Super Bowl champion.
Who?
You tell me. Who was the first black quarterback to win?
Doug Williams. Yeah, he was there holding the
Doug
trophy.
Williams was there. He was there.
Yeah, he was there.
So, see, you guys got a little bit of love, but nonetheless, that's enough for football for tonight. We got a big basketball game here tonight because the Chanute Blue Comets and Pittsburg Purple Dragons are going to be in a tight battle tonight as Pittsburg comes into this one with an overall record of 1-16. That one win, however, was Friday night against Parsons.
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where you're like, oh, 1-16. Who'd they beat? The JV squad? Nope, they beat Parsons, who's like right in the middle of the pack in 4A. Actually, I don't even think that's fair to say. In 4A, Parsons is currently the 4 seed in 4A.
Wow.
So this Pittsburgh team, they've got it in them. They have the ability. We'll see if they put it all together tonight. But Chanute, on the other hand, needs a win. Chanute right now is 4-12. They are currently sitting as the 15 seed. However, Iola, who's at 16, is 4-13, so just a half game back. However, Chanute does have the tiebreaker over Iola. And Paola, who has a tiebreaker over Chanute, is also 4-13. So if Chanute were to lose to this game, they would be tied in that, and then because those three teams would be tied, it would go to the points differential. As it stands right now, Chanute is negative 6.62 point differential. Iola and Paola are both 6.76 on the point differential. So that could be very important. I mean, your .14 differential in points. Just get some wins this week against Pittsburgh and Coffeyville and put yourself in a position to guarantee an opportunity to play at Sub-State.
Right. Well, the last time we played Pittsburgh, these teams combined for 63 free throws. So,
and one lip bitten through by Tyra Vogel. If you don't remember, Tyra literally bit through her lip. She got popped in the mouth so hard. There was no foul called on that play, however. But
yeah, that's as many free throws as shot. That was amazing. There wasn't no foul called there.
So it will be an exciting night of basketball for sure. We're actually going to take a timeout here in our Commercial Bank pregame show. Send it back for 1 minute. When we come back, we'll have a little bit more. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, here in our Commercial Bank pregame show. Do want to send a shout out to Kay's Place as they are sponsoring tonight's broadcast table. And as a reminder, Kay's Place has their Valentine's dinner special going on tonight. So call them up or head on up there and see if you can get a table. It's a great deal. It's $120 per couple. That includes your tip and tax. And it's a 5-course dinner, appetizer, soup, salad, entree, and dessert, champagne, and a rose. So pretty good deal up there at Kay's Place. So if you've got the time and the desire, head on up there and enjoy a great sweetheart dinner for yourself and your sweetheart. Or, hey, if it's just, you and a friend that wants to go have a nice meal, why not, right?
That's right.
Somebody can have a rose as well. Never know when you may need a rose. Here tonight, again, two teams searching for a win as both teams fighting to get into the sub-state tournament. Chanute currently in the 4A bracket. Pittsburg not in the 5A bracket currently. But with a win, it would help Pittsburg get to that point. And for Chanute, a win would not solidify a spot, but would make you feel a lot better. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
So again, it should be a fun one. Again, it is senior night here tonight. So we'll see if we have a different starting lineup, as it looks like we will. So when we get to that point after our break, we will point out all of our seniors here tonight, and we will have the national anthem here before the girls' game. So we will wrap up our Commercial Bank pregame show, send it back to the studio for 3 minutes, and when we come back, we will have your starting lineups and be that much closer to the opening tip-off. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, starting lineups making their way out on the floor, and as we get those complete, we will get them to you. As we had a great national anthem here by the Chanute Select Ensemble, as they're honoring those seniors tonight as well. Excuse me. So should be an exciting night of basketball here at Chanute High School. And starting lineups are out. And those starters will be first for Pittsburg. Number 1, junior Jacqueline Hall. Number 2, senior Desi Gorley. Freshman number 4, Ana Jorge. Sophomore number 20, Gabrielle White. And sophomore number 22, Alyssa Hotze. For Chanute, it will be senior number 0, Braylee Peter. Junior number 4, Peyton Shields. Senior number 5, Preston Keating. Senior number 24, Tyra Bogle. And junior number 44, Kearney Fulmer. Head coach for Pittsburg, Chris Pop. Head coach for your Chanute Blue Comets, Dustin Fox. So jumping center will be Jorge for Pittsburg and Fulmer for Chanute. Ball was tipped and ended up in the hands of Kearney Fulmer, but you cannot possess the ball if you
cannot hold it in the circle.
So possession will start with Pittsburg. Gurley with it. He'll swing it over into the hands of Hotze. Back to Gorley. They'll go into the corner looking for Hall. Hall, one of the best players in the SEK. She puts up a shot, it's missed. And that'll go out of bounds off of Pittsburg. Possession to Chanute. Well, press going to be put on by Pittsburg as Bogle will inbound. She gets it in to Keating. She'll go back to Bogle. Bogle looking for help. She'll swing it over to Shields, back to Bogle. They'll cross the timeline with the pass up to Keating on the right sideline. Preston looking for help, gives it over to Tyra Bogle. Bogle picks up her dribble. You know she wants to have a big game after what happened the last time these two teams went at it. They'll swing it over to Peter. Peter puts the ball on the floor, now swings it to Shields in the corner. Peyton going to try to drive baseline, gets cut off. And now slow moving offense behind the back dribble from Shields. She'll give it to Bogle. Bogle going to drive inside, pulls up for the 8-footer. That won't go. Rebound goes to Pittsburg.
They had Peter wide open when they broke the press and just didn't push the ball down inside.
Hotze with it for Pittsburg, and she'll slide that back foot. That'll be a traveling violation. Possession back to the Blue Comets.
I'm really surprised Coach Fox hasn't went to the bench and got his normal rotation out there.
Already?
Oh, it's senior nights. It doesn't mean nothing. You just got to win.
Nah. Pittsburg hasn't even scored yet. Ball's turned over. Hall going to pull up for the 3. That won't go. Rebound to Bogle. I'm going to guess Pittsburg doesn't love that shot selection from Hall. Now Peyton Shields going to fire a 3 of her own, and
bank is open.
Shot was off the mark, but as Jay mentioned, went off the glass and goes in. So 3-0 Chanute, 6:11 to play here in the first quarter. Gorley with it, swing it over to Hall. Hall going to drive inside, bounce pass underneath to White. White shot won't go. She gets her own rebound. That follow-up shot won't go. Gorley able to bring it in. They'll swing it over to Hall. Hall drives inside, kicks it over to Hotze. Her three-point shot hard off the side of the iron. That's going to be tipped around and ends up into the hands of Peyton Shields. Peyton going to drive down the sideline, gives it up to Fulmer. Fulmer hesitating, puts up the shot, rattles around and out. And yeah, with a 3-0 lead here. And now Coach Fox going to send his normal starters to the table. Hall going to fire up a three-point shot. That one goes off the iron and saved momentarily, but into the hands of Tyra Bogle. Bogle down the sideline, looking to go all the way to the bucket. She's bumped. That'll be a foul, but it'll be on the floor. So that will prompt a substitution. So Braylee Peter and Preston Keating check out. As Kelsey Haviland and Jalen Smith will check in. Shields inbound, gets batted down immediately. Possession stays with Chanute. Shields to inbound once again. And that one gets tipped. It goes off the back of the glass, but it was tipped by Pittsburg first, so it will stay with Chanute once again.
Third time's a charm here getting that ball in.
Peyton gets it in to Smith, and Jalen Smith drains the three, makes it 6-0. Blue Comets, 5:02 to play. Gorley with it. They swing it over into the hands of Hotze. Hotze up top to Hall. She'll backpedal and reset. Double team comes. She gets it over to Hotze.
Oh, Peyton got away with one there.
Yeah, Peyton probably should have been charged with a foul there. Gorley swings it to Hotze. Hotze back to Hall. Hall going to go inside. Might have gotten an extra step or two, but her layup goes. 6-2, 4.5 to play in the first quarter. More pressure from the Purple Dragons as they put it into the hands of Smith. Smith will try to drive down the sideline, picks up her dribble, kicks it out to Bogle. Skip pass into the corner to Haviland. She'll fire the three-point shot, and that one goes. Oh, a 9-2 lead for Chanute. 3 threes. Gorley with it. She kicks it out to Hotze. Hotze fakes the three. Now going to look for help. Kicks it up top to Hall. She'll swing it over to Gorley on the left wing. Back to Hall. Bounce pass underneath the outstretched arms of Kearney Fulmer. Gorley's rebound tip won't go, and possession going to stay with Pittsburg. A substitution here as Aaron O'Connell checks in. Gabrielle White checks out. Hall, top of the key, tries to drive to the right, gets cut off. She'll pass out of it to Gorley. Gorley going to drive inside, tries the 8-footer, way too long. Rebound ends up into the hands of Kelsey Haviland. Fulmer was going up the floor, decided that probably wasn't the greatest idea. Now they kick to Bogle in the corner. She'll take a try at a three-point shot, and just a little long as it goes hard off the iron. Excuse me.
She had a good look there.
Yeah, not a bad look for sure. Our score still 9-2 here with 3:10 to play in the first. Kinley Chard going to the scorer's table. She'll check in at the next dead ball, which is right now after Desi Gorley gets charged with a traveling violation. So Kearney Fulmer checks out. Kinley Chard checks in.
Instant Energy just checked in the game.
Kinley Chard had a hair tie on her wrist, and they said, absolutely not. It's a danger to the game.
Somebody's hair might get caught in it.
Yeah, who knows? Jalen Smith going to be bumped as she hits the deck. And they're going to get Ana Jorge with that one. That'll be her first, team second. 2:53 to play here in quarter number one. Peyton Shields to inbound. Going to have to get it in. Gets it in to Haviland. Kelsey puts it on the floor. She's going all the way to the bucket. Her layup won't go. Rebound to Pittsburg. Hall with it. Pass it up the floor to Hotze. Hotze gives it over to Gorley. Kinley Chard at the top of that 1-3-1 zone defense. Nearly gets a hand on it. And Hall kicks it out to Gorley. Gorley three-point shot. That won't go. Rebound fought for, pulled in by Pittsburg. Ends up into the hands of O'Connell, who checked in earlier. And now they'll give it back up top to Hall. She'll reset. Gorley with it. She'll kick it into the right corner. They'll go down low to Jorge, and it's thrown away into the hands of Bogle. Bogle kicks it up to Kinley Chard. Chard, double team comes. She gives it inside to Haviland. Haviland thought she was fouled. No whistle. Ball goes back to Pittsburgh. Do you think she was fouled?
I think she was.
Okay. Makeup call for Peyton. Hall with it. Skip pass over to Hotsey. Well, she'll try to get it to O'Connell. Good job there by Bogle. Now Gorley going to fire a three-point shot. That won't go. And it goes out of bounds. Possession back to Chanute. So a minute 35 to play. And Ashley Haviland has checked into the game. The first time we've seen her since the Iola game when she rolled that left ankle. Haviland gives it off to Smith. Smith in the right wing. Skip pass into the corner to Shields. Peyton going to drive baseline. And they're going to say she stepped on the baseline. Possession back to Pittsburgh.
Got to be careful when you're driving that baseline like that. Got to give yourself enough room.
Yeah, just a little too tight for Shields. We go inside. That one's stolen away by Jalen Smith. He tries to pass it ahead to Chard, and it's stolen away as that's Ava Harrett who checked in for Pittsburgh, stealing that one away. Hall with it now. Under 40 seconds to play. Harrett. They go to O'Connell, and that one's over the head of O'Connell out of bounds. Possession back to Chanute. Haviland gets it up to Peyton Shields. Shields gives it inside. And that was Chard, and she misses the layup just a little too strong as that one goes hard off the iron. So 10 seconds to play here. Hall with it. Gives it to Harrett in the corner. Ball nearly tipped away. Back to Hall. Hall loses her dribble, and Ashley Haviland picks it up. And Jalen Smith took it out of the hands of Ashley Haviland and tried a three-quarter length court shot, but it was nowhere close. So after one, our score, Chanute 9, Pittsburgh 2. We'll send it back for 1 minute. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, Blue Comet girls leading 9-2 after 1 quarter of play, but they only hit 3 shots in that first quarter, all 3 coming from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, it's a turn of events. Usually they're better inside than out, but not tonight.
And they have yet to hit a shot from inside the three-point arc. As they go inside to Fulmer, and Fulmer misses a pretty good layup opportunity there. Just left it a little short.
She's had a couple opportunities inside there like that.
How many shots has Chanute missed inside now?
6.
Yeah, so
7.
7 shots missed inside. They go to Hall, Pittsburg. They drive baseline, and she can't get that one to go. And Pittsburg eventually chases down the rebound. And ball stolen away here. That's Kelsey Haviland. She'll give it up ahead to Bogle. Bogle going to go all the way to the glass and lays it in for 2. So 11-2 here with 7:05 to play in the second quarter.
Good job by Tyra there just to take that ball straight to the basket.
Harrett with it, swings it over into the hands of Hotsy. Now Hall going to try a three-point shot. That won't go. Good rebound there, and we're going to get a tie-up as it was Gabrielle White pulling in the rebound, but Jalen Smith doing a good job getting her hand firmly on that ball and forcing the tie-up. Possession will stay with Pittsburgh. Get it into Hotsy, now Hall. Hall going to step back, take the three-point shot, and she drills that one.
That young lady's definitely not afraid to shoot.
Yeah, Jacqueline Hall, who's letting it fly tonight for sure. She cuts the lead down to 6. It's 11-5 Chanute. As they go inside to Fulmer, that one's stolen away. Good hands there by Gabrielle White. Hall with it. They'll swing it over to Hotsy. Now Harrett back to Hotsy. Bounce pass to Hall in the corner. She drives, puts up the floater. That one won't go. Rebound fought for and saved by O'Connell and ended up in the hands of Hall. And we're going to get a foul as Tyra Bogle tried to swat that one down but got too much of the hand of Gabrielle White. That'll be the first foul on Bogle, and it'll send White to the free throw line where she will shoot 2. First free throw for White. Banks it in. Desi Gorley checking back into the game. Hotsy will check out. Second free throw for White. That one won't go, and rebound to Fulmer. Tyra Bogle going to bring it up the floor. Now gives off to Shields. They'll go to Haviland in the corner. She'll fire up another 3. That one well short of the mark. It's an air ball. Possession back to Pittsburgh. So 11-6 our score. 5.5 to play here in the second quarter. Bogle got a hand on that. No, Gorley didn't tip it.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
That's why it was holding.
O'Connell with it. Gives it right back to Hall. They'll swing it over to Gorley. Now O'Connell in the corner. Give it up top to Harrett. Now inside to White. Back up top to Hall. They'll completely reset this offensive set. Gorley with it. Back to Harrett. Tried to go to Hall in the corner. Didn't like it.
Hall really wants the ball down here in this corner.
Yeah, she does. I think she wants the ball as much as possible. But to be fair, when the ball is in her hands, Pittsburgh has a totally different energy on offense.
That they do.
So under 5 to play here in the quarter. Haviland with it. She picks up her dribble, gives it inside to Fulmer. Kearney looking for somewhere to go, doesn't like it, kicks it out to Smith. Jalen's three-point shot won't go. Rebound to Pittsburgh.
They're slowly starting to fall in love with that three-point shot again.
Hey, it worked in the first quarter. The ball stolen away. Jalen Smith with it. See if she has to go coast to coast. Tries to pass it inside to Haviland. It's batted out of bounds by Pittsburgh. Possession to stay with Chanute.
I think she should have just took that ball and went straight to the basket.
It's an easy way to pick up a charge.
Not when they're running with you.
Inbound goes to Smith.
Oh, my goodness. Fulmer missed point blank again.
Yeah, not her night shooting so far. O'Connell with it. Hall going to fire the three in the corner. That one rattles in and out, and the rebound goes to Fulmer. Outlet pass to Peyton Shields. She'll bring it up the near sideline. Now gives off to Smith. Smith going to drive inside, spins. Nice move, falling away, and shot won't go. Jalen Smith did everything right except finish the shot. Hall with it, gives off to Harrett. Now Harrett hands to White. Fulmer got to be careful poking that hand in. However, Chanute does just have one team foul. And that one shot goes off the iron and bounces over the backboard. Possession comes back to Chanute.
That's the first shot by someone other than Hall in this quarter for Pittsburg.
Interesting. Keating with it. She'll be doubled, gives off to Bogle. Now they go inside to Chard. Kinley backing down the defender. And her shot not really close. Although I like the move.
I like the move. I agree with you there.
We've seen a little bit of offense this season out of Kinley Chard, but she is definitely a spark plug on defense when she comes in, and any offense she adds is an added bonus for sure. But last time these two teams faced off was when she really made a name for herself for this team, because her defense was just unbelievable in Pittsburgh and has been ever since.
You're absolutely right. She does a really good job on the defensive end.
A substitution here as Hotsey checks back in and Gorley will check out. So our score still 11-6, 2.5 to play here in the second quarter. Bogle with it, kicks it up to Peyton Shields. Shields doubled and tries to get it up to Haviland, and it's stolen away. And Kinley Chard down on the floor. And Pittsburgh's head coach, Chris Popp, complaining that Pittsburgh had a breakaway to the basket. First off, they didn't. But I don't know. I don't like him throwing a little temper tantrum when there's a player hurt.
Right.
So Chard carried off the floor. Head coach Dustin Fox, also assistant coach Jared Richards helping out.
She's grabbing in the area back there where your Achilles is at, and that's never good.
Yeah, especially as good of a track star as Kinley is. You never want to see an injury, but never want to see a lower body injury to somebody with that much talent for sure, especially when her best sport is the one coming up in the spring. So a foul here on Tyra Bogle, her second.
Well, all righty then.
And it's going to send Alyssa Hotsey to the line. Her first free throw won't go. Jalen Smith checks back in. Bogle will check out. Second free throw won't go either. So Hotsey missing both. Our score stays 11-6.
Been that way for a while.
It has been. Ball went hard off the side of the iron, out of bounds. So possession back to Chanute. Inbound goes to Ashley Haviland. Back to Jalen Smith. Jalen going to bring the ball up the near sideline. Now she'll be doubled. And the ball was tipped out of bounds. They're going to say it went off the hands of Jalen Smith. I feel like I had a really good look at that, and I could have sworn Jacqueline Hall, knocked that out, but guess not. Desi Gorley driving to the bucket. Her layup won't go. Kicks it out to O'Connell. Now over to Hall on the far side. Hall driving inside, kicks out to O'Connell. O'Connell thought about the long two, didn't like it. Now Gorley driving once again. Whew, that's a tough call on Jalen Smith. It'll be her first, but that's a tough one, man. So Gorley at the line shooting two. First free throw in. She'll get one more. Second free throw by Gorley misses absolutely everything, so possession will go back to Chanute. White checks out for Pittsburgh. Jorge checks in. Jalen Smith with it, gives it up to Keating. Now Keating, double team comes. She's going to have to get some help. And Coach Fox was begging for a timeout. I got a headset on, I could hear that. As going to get an offensive foul on Desi Gorley. As Peyton Shields in position. I don't love that call. Felt like Peyton Shields was far enough under the basket. That probably should have been a blocking foul.
Well, that's what happens when they don't have the little half circle they have in the NBA.
Fair enough. 1:05 to play here in the second quarter. 11-7 our score, and a traveling violation by Preston Keating as Kelsey Haviland will come to the table, and she'll check in as Keating checks out. A 4-point game here with under a minute to play. Hotsy with it. They go inside to O'Connell. She gives it over to Jorge. Jorge's shot is missed, but she's fouled, and Anna Jorge going to go to the line to shoot two.
Pittsburgh is doing exactly what Chanute should be doing and getting that ball inside.
Free throw is up and missed. Jorge will get one more. Bogle checks back in with her two fouls. That way they can have her offense on the floor in the final 47 seconds. Second free throw for Jorge rattles in, and it's now a one-possession game. Inbound goes to Peyton Shields. Double team comes. She's able to dribble out of it. She'll drive baseline. Kicks it over into the hands to Fulmer. Fulmer got to pick it up, kicks it out into the hands of Haviland. Now over to Bogle. Clock down to 30 seconds. Bogle driving inside. Kiss off the glass, won't go. Rebound to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, an opportunity to tie it with a three. Gorley with it. Passes it over to Hotsy. Hotsy driving inside, kiss off the glass, won't go. Jorge, the offensive rebound, and her shot will go. Clock down to 6 seconds. Peyton Shields. She'll try to cross the timeline. She'll heave one up extremely early, and that is how the half will come to a close. Our score, Chanute 11, Pittsburgh 10. We'll send it back to the studio for 4 minutes. When we come back, we'll have your Row Motors and Trailer Sales halftime report. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. We welcome you back to Chanute High School. Our score here at halftime in the girls' game, Chanute 11, Pittsburg 10. It's been a low-scoring affair here in this one. It's been ugly.
Very ugly.
Especially that second quarter. Why don't you just give us the stats to start with, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, for the Blue Comets, Shields has 3, Kelsey Havlin 3, Bogle 2, and Smith 3. They're shooting 22% from the floor, 43% from behind the arc, and 0 from the free throw line. For Pittsburgh, Hall has 5, Gorley 1, Jorge 3, White 1. They're shooting 15% from the floor, 13% from behind the arc, and 38% at the line.
So, yeah, ugly. It's been a weird game as Chanute started off on fire, hitting their first 3 threes of the night, and since then have really done absolutely nothing outside of one Tyra Bogle layup. And slowly Pittsburgh has clawed their way back in. Remember, it was 9-2. So since that moment, it is 8-2 in favor of Pittsburgh, and that's how we get to this 1-point advantage overall for Chanute. An update, or as much of an update as I can give just kind of by looking. Kinley Chard, based on some of the facial expressions I saw over there on the trainer's table, it didn't look great. She looked like Mahomes at the Super Bowl when he hurt that ankle. You probably saw that face. 113 million people watch the Super Bowl, Jay. Everybody knows what face I'm talking about. All right?
Well, then he would have got the good stuff.
Well, I don't know if they've got the good stuff here. But what I was going to say, they worked on her ankle for a little bit, and then she just got up and jogged to the locker room, and now she just walked back out and getting a drink of water. You can tell she's definitely stretching out that left ankle. But we'll see if she gives it a go, because not out there warming up with her team at the moment, getting a drink, but we'll see what she does. It doesn't even look like she's favoring it, just kind of moving a little slower than normal.
It's a little tender, you can tell.
Saw her mom over there with the head athletic trainer here at Chanute. But I've yet to see her go for a ball. Now she's jogging over to get that ball.
Yeah, maybe.
And looked fine.
Yeah, she does. I don't know.
Looked better than Mahomes, all right? So that's my halftime update. Kinley Chard looks better than Mahomes.
She's talking to Coach Fox right now.
Jogging, that is. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting second half as Chanute's going to have to find a way to get the offense going. One thing that Pittsburgh did that was really causing Chanute fits, they were running that full court press. Chanute turned the ball over, it seemed like, 5 of the final 6 possessions, and really struggled to get the ball past midcourt. So we'll see what adjustments Chanute has made. But it's going to be an interesting second half as Chanute needs to find a way to get a win here tonight to make them feel a lot better about going into Sub-State here in a couple of weeks. But need a big win and need one tonight for sure. With that being said, we are going to wrap up our Row Motors and Trailer Sales halftime report. We're going to send it back to the studio for 1 minute. When we come back, we will have your third quarter. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, ready to start quarter number 3 as Chanute will go with its usual starters here to start the second half. It'll be Shields, Bogle, Kelsey Haviland, Jalen Smith, and Fulmer down low. Chanute will start with possession of the basketball. He'll swing it over to Bogle. Now Smith. Smith gives to a cutting Haviland. Haviland's layup won't go. Fulmer there fighting for the rebound, and it goes into the hands of Pittsburg. Hotsy with it, and that ball poked out of bounds as Peyton Shields goes diving to the ground. Possession will stay with Pittsburg.
That was a good hustle there by Peyton to get down
Now,
there.
Chanute's got to make that shot, though.
Well, they've missed 3 or 4 from point-blank range. And if Pittsburgh could make a free throw, we'd be trailing right now.
Jackie Hall, a deep 3. That won't go. Pittsburgh attempting to save it, but it will go out of bounds. Possession back to Chanute. So full court pressure here once again, as the only person past midcourt at this time is Kelsey Haviland. I guess Anna Jorge was there with her, but everybody else in the backcourt. Chanute now able to break it. They go to Shields. Peyton going to step into a floater, and they'll say she traveled first. So another turnover there. Possession back to the Purple Dragons. So Pittsburgh now another opportunity to take the lead. Gorley with it. Tries to give it to Hall. That one's knocked out of bounds. Possession will stay with Pittsburgh. So Hall to inbound, gets it into Jorge. Jorge puts it up on her shoulder for a minute. Now back to Hall. Hall going to take the 14-footer. That won't go, and Bogle going to be bumped on the rebound attempt. And looks like they're going to get Gabrielle White with a foul. That'll be her first. Well, Chanute will have the basketball. Smith with it, back to Bogle. Double team comes on Bogle. Bounce pass over to Smith. Smith picks up her dribble, back to Bogle. Chanute going to have to cross the timeline here. Now they get it to Smith, into Fulmer. They give it up to Peyton Shields. That one nearly stolen away and somehow rolls over to Kelsey Haviland. He'll give it back to Peyton Shields. Go ahead, Jay.
Good hustle by Jalen Smith to get that ball to roll over to Haviland.
The ball nearly stolen away. And Desi Gorley going to get a foul. And they let him play in the first half for sure. How many fouls was there in the first half? 6 total?
5 total.
5 total fouls in that first half. Now 2 here in the first 90 seconds. They go inside to Fulmer. Fulmer can't bring it in cleanly. That'll be another turnover. Pittsburgh, yet another opportunity to take the lead, as neither team has really showed any desire to score here this half. And now a traveling violation on Alyssa Hotsy. So Chanute back with the basketball. So Shields with it. Lob pass up to Bogle. Bogle going to be double teamed, and we got a timeout by Chanute. It will be a 30-second timeout. We'll send it back to the studio for 30 seconds. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, Blue Comets still leading 11-10. Peyton Shields with the ball. She's fighting through a double team. She'll get rid of it to Jalen Smith. Smith inside to Fulmer. Fulmer puts the ball on the floor, nearly loses it, kicks it out to Peyton Shields going to fire up a three-point shot. That won't go. And Fulmer unable to chase down the offensive board. It'll go into the hands of Pittsburg. Kinley Chard going to go to the scorer's table. She'll check in at the next dead ball. Give that ankle a test.
She's a gamer.
Hall with it. Screen there set by White. Now Hall kicks it out to Hotsy. Back to Hall. Back to Hotsy in the corner. And that one nearly knocked away. Ends up in the hands of Jorge. And Ana Jorge gives Pittsburg their first lead. 12-11, a 1-point Purple Dragon lead. Bogle tries to spit the double team, and she'll get bumped. That'll be the third foul on Pittsburg this half. So inbound goes to Peyton Shields. She breaks the press, drives inside, gives it to Chard, and Kinley Chard lays it in for two. And as she hustles down the floor, you can tell that ankle not feeling great. So a 1-point Blue Comet lead.
I don't think she'll be out there very long.
I think going forward, she's all right, but going side to side, feeling some pain. And we're going to get a foul under the basket on Pittsburg, as Ana Jorge a little too aggressive. So 4 team fouls now on Pittsburg, none on Chanute. Jalen Smith gets it in to Peyton Shields. Shields going to dribble towards the double team, now passes out of it. Bogle with it, up to Smith. Jalen Smith picks up her dribble back to Bogle. Bogle crosses the timeline. She'll kick it over to Haviland. Haviland back to Bogle. Bogle going to take it up top. They'll reset. Inside to Peyton Shields. She picks up her dribble. Now she'll go up for the shot. And Peyton Shields is fouled on the shot attempt.
Intentional.
No, not intentional.
Well, the way it looked like he did it. He went like went like this.
We've seen that same official call an intentional foul before. So foul was charged to Jorge, her third. Peyton Shields at the line. First free throw rattles home. As Ashley Haviland checks in, Kelsey Haviland checks out. Second free throw here for Peyton Shields. Leaves that one short. She's able to get her own rebound. Tries to get it inside to Smith, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Jalen. Possession back to Pittsburgh. So just a 2-point Chanute lead.
Good idea by Peyton there to try to get that ball down low.
Yeah, absolutely. Hall crosses the timeline. She'll be defended by Chard. Pass is too high, out of bounds. It'll go back to Chanute. I don't know about you, paying close attention to Kinley Chard, seeing how much she's able to move. That pass was intended for her, and now she'll bump Jorge on the other end. That'll be the first foul on Chanute.
I don't know how long you leave Kinley out there, knowing that she can't move.
Looks like the more she's on it, the quicker she's moving. But definitely,
right then.
Definitely moving gingerly, and I'm not just saying that because she's a redhead.
Oh, Lordy.
Hey, us redheads could say that, all right? So foul charge to Ashley Haviland, her first, team second. Gorley with it. Picks up her dribble, gives it to Hotsy in the corner. Now back to Gorley. Chard gets a hand on it and then commits the foul.
Well, you know, any other time, Kinley would have chased that ball down.
And with the first one, yeah, she got a hand on it the first time, and yeah, I agree. If she's 100%, she probably goes after that ball, but Smartly held back, but then picked up the foul afterwards. So Chanute had 0 team fouls, but that possession picked up 3. And Chard loses it. I think she was bumped, but there was no call. 3-point shot put up, and Kinley hustles back down and gets the rebound that time. So still a 2-point Chanute lead. 14-12 our score, 2:45 to play here in the third quarter. Bogle with it. They go inside to Chard. Chard puts up the shot and it goes. Tell you what, injured, calm down Kinley Chard is an offensive force.
I agree with that.
So 4 points here in the quarter for Chard, and that's the difference in the game. Ball going to be stolen away by Jalen Smith. Jalen nearly traveling with it. She probably got away with one, honestly. They go inside. It's Bogle, and her shot will not go. That goes.
Oh, Kinley took one in the face now.
Kinley Chard having a rough night. As Chard going to take a seat. As I believe Kearney Fulmer checking in for her. Peyton Shields inbounding, gets it into Smith. Smith thought about the 3-point shot. Now tries to go inside to Fulmer. That one nowhere close. As Jorge loses it, able to bring it back in and gives it off to Harrett. Ball poked away on the floor, and we're going to get a tie-up. Possession arrow will favor Pittsburg.
Well, it's really funny because Peyton got away with one down here.
Yeah, she did.
She was hopping along there, and I was like, is he going to call that?
So 1:46 to play in the third. Low-scoring game, 16-12. Chanute up 4. Harrett picks up her dribble now. Throws it over to Hotsy. Getting no haul on the floor right now for Pittsburgh. Where does the offense come from? Shots blocked down. They go inside to White. Her shot's missed. And now a foul underneath. And that's going to send Gabrielle White to the line. She will shoot
Gorley,
2.
Was that Gorley that took that first shot
Yeah.
for them?
Kearney Fulmer picking up the foul. Her first. Team's 4th. First free throw left short. Foul count was 5-0 in favor of Pittsburgh, and now
you opened your mouth.
And now it's 5-4. It's the basketball gods.
Your big mouth.
Second free throw by White goes. Makes it a 1-possession game with the lead, the Blue Comet lead down to 3. Just under 90 seconds to play. 16-13. Ball going to be stolen away by Hotsy. And Bogle quickly poking it out of bounds. Gives Chanute an opportunity to set up their defense. Inbound goes to Harrett. Now back to Hotsy. She'll go around the screen, kicks it out to Gorley. Gorley doesn't catch it cleanly, but gets a hold of it before it goes out of bounds. She'll kick it up top back to Harrett. And Harrett back to Gorley. Gorley going to go around the screen, bounce pass to White. Now Harrett in the corner. Harrett going to dribble out of it, go inside to White. White backing down Fulmer, and we'll get a foul. Kearney Fulmer going to pick up her second foul. So that'll send White back to the line to shoot 2. Her first free throw rattles out. Kinley Chard checks back in as Fulmer checks out. Second free throw for White, and that one hard off the side of the iron. Bogle able to bring in the rebound. And a blocking foul under the basket. Jorge was begging for the offensive foul, but she was riding Tyra Bogle pretty hard. Picks up her fourth.
Fourth, yeah, 90 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, not a smart foul there. Keating inbounds it to Bogle. She'll go back to Keating. And now back to Bogle. They'll give it back to Keating. Blue Comets got to cross the timeline, and they do. Bogle with it now. She dribbles around the double team. Peyton Shields on the floor and just now touching the ball for the first time. And she puts a kiss off the glass. Great shot there from Peyton Shields. That was a tough angle. Great finish there by Peyton. Puts Chanute up 5. 20 seconds to play here in the third. Gorley with it. Tries to go inside. Ball on the floor. And it ends up into the hands of Chanute. Clock down to 10 seconds. Keating going to drive down the near sideline. Picks up her dribble, kicks it out to Bogle. Bogle driving on the inside, puts the kiss off the glass. It won't go. And that's how the quarter will come to a close. Our score, Chanute 18, Pittsburg 13. We'll send it back to the studio for 1 minute. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, start of the fourth quarter. Blue Comet girls looking for win number 5 on the season, and their second against Pittsburg. They currently lead by 5, and will have possession of the basketball. Inbound goes to Peyton Shields. She'll kick it over to Haviland. Kelsey going to give way to Bogle. Now to Smith. Jalen picks up her dribble, has it poked away. That'll be a tie-up as Smith and White hit the deck. And possession arrow will favor Pittsburg. Jalen Smith's ready to fight. Sorry, I turned your mic off.
Oh, thanks.
So 30 seconds into this fourth quarter, Pittsburg back with the basketball, trailing by 5. They kick it out to Hall. Her three-point shot just a hair short. Rebound to O'Connell. They go inside. Hall going to take the fadeaway shot. That won't go. Rebound chased down by Peyton Shields. Peyton going to weave her way through traffic. Gets it up to Fulmer. Fulmer might have got away with a walk, but her layup goes. She was due to finish on one of those.
That she was.
I still think she got an extra step in there.
We won't say nothing.
So Jay subtly agreeing with me. Is driving to the basket for Pittsburgh, Alyssa Hotsey. That looked too easy for Hotsey. Bogle with it now. Pressure being applied by Pittsburgh. And they'll kick it up the floor into the hands of Haviland. Haviland puts up the shot, and it goes, and she's fouled. Kelsey Haviland begging for that one just to hang on, and it did. She'll have an opportunity for the three-point play.
Looked like it was going to roll out there for a second.
Yeah, it sure did. Foul was charged to Erin O'Connell, her first, and the free throw attempt rattles out. So Blue Comet leads 7. Harrett with it. They go inside and nearly saved by Bogle, but her foot was on the line. Hall to inbound, gets it into Hotsy. She'll go back to Hall. Hall loses her dribble momentarily. She's able to chase it down. Hall driving on the inside, kicks it out to O'Connell. Now they'll go back inside to Hall. And Hall going to be bumped, and they'll get a hold call. And see if they get that on Smith. Yep. That'll be the third on Jalen Smith. 6th team foul, so both teams will be in the bonus from here on out. Hall to inbound. Kicks it over to O'Connell. Inside to Hall. Her 6-footer will go. Lead down to 5, 22-17. Seen more offense here in the fourth quarter than we've seen the whole game. Good press break there by Chanute. And Haviland going to fire the three. Don't love that shot selection, although it almost went down, but climbed back out.
Yeah, I think she should have drove that ball to the basket.
And Pittsburgh going to turn it over on the other end, thankfully. Well, with a 5-point lead and the way this game has been going, I would try to just slow play your offense at this point. Pittsburgh has shown no ability to score quickly. Peyton Shields pushing. And he gets it inside to Haviland. Haviland going to take that shot, and that one will go. I don't love the fast pace, but when you've got that good of a look under the basket, take your shot.
Well, that's the difference between us.
I mean, there's a lot of differences between us, but
I know I'm good looking.
Okay, single man. Jalen Smith going to get hit with the travel. I mean, I'm technically married, right?
Huh?
I said I'm technically married.
Technically.
And Jacqueline Hall going to take a timeout with 5:06 to play. Chanute holding on to a 7-point lead. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take it with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School. 5:06 to play here in quarter number 4. Blue Comets leading 24-17. Harrett with it. She's doubled. Gets it over to Hotsy. Hotsy in panic mode. And we're going to get a bump. Don't love that. And that'll send Ava Harrett to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 as Kelsey Haviland fouled Harrett near the volleyball line with a 7-point lead. Well, the front end of the 1-and-1 is missed, and Chanute able to bring in the rebound. So, hey, what do I know? Maybe it was a strategy thing.
Right.
And get a timeout by Chanute. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll take 60 seconds with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School for the final time this season for the Blue Comet girls. They lead 24-17 with 4:42 to play. Can they get a win on their home floor? Bogle loses the dribble and just turns it right over. Pittsburg comes up with it. Hotsey looking to go coast to coast. And Peyton Shields just a little too aggressive, and that's going to send Alyssa Hotsey to the line to shoot a 1-and-1.
I'm trying to figure out what offense we were running down here. We had two girls just standing there doing nothing.
First foul on Peyton. Hotsey's free throw on the front end of the 1-and-1 is missed, and that'll go out of bounds off of Chanute. So possession stays with the Purple Dragons. Hall to inbound, gets it into Hotsey. Now Hotsey, the three-point shot, that won't go. Rebound by Smith. Jalen Smith gets it over to Shields. Peyton going to bring it across the timeline. Peyton left-hand dribble, now gets down to the baseline. Has to kick it out to Smith. Smith puts the ball on the floor. Backing down O'Connell. She'll need help. Passes out of it to Bogle. Bogle puts it on the floor, gives to Haviland. Haviland drives inside, kicks it out to Fulmer. Fulmer, the 6-footer. And Kearney Fulmer gets that one to go. Makes it 26-17. No disrespect to either team on the floor or any team not on this floor. How on earth did Pittsburgh beat Parsons?
Well, you never know what happened that night.
Pittsburgh turns it over there, and
Was it a low-scoring affair?
no, it was like 57-54.
Oh. Maybe it was a foul fest.
So Peyton Shields crosses the timeline. Jalen Smith, she'll fire the three-point shot and misses everything on that one. We'll go out of bounds.
Not a fan of that shot right there.
Coach Fox looked at Jalen Smith and said, "What are you doing?" Pointed to the scoreboard and said, "Time and score." Pretty blunt there from Coach Fox.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh trying to get inside. White with it, and good job, Jalen Smith tying it up, and possession arrow will favor Chanute.
Well, she stuck her hand in there maybe to make the coach happy.
So 3 minutes exactly to play. Chanute leading by 9. They'll give it up top to Haviland. She's able to fight off O'Connell to bring it in. Now Bogle. Bogle going to backpedal, and we'll see how slow this Chanute offense moves now.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And Jalen Smith now going to back up. Make Pittsburgh foul you. Haviland with it. She'll hand off to Shields. Shields behind the back dribble. Well, she backs up behind the volleyball line near the logo, picks up her dribble, gives off to Bogle. Bogle over to Haviland. Haviland back to Bogle. It goes through her hands and is stolen away.
That's what
by
happens.
Hotsey.
Try not to score.
You know what? They burned 50 seconds. I'm pretty okay with that. I'm good with it. Hall with it. She drives inside, puts up the floater. That shot won't go. And now Smith the rebound. She picks up her dribble, gives off to Shields. Shields going to cross the timeline. And Coach Fox going to take a timeout with 1:54 to play here in regulation. It'll be a 30-second timeout. It'll be a full 1 minute timeout. So we'll take 60 seconds with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. 1:54 to play in regulation. Blue Comets leading by 9 with possession of the basketball. Bogle will inbound. And she'll get it into Peyton Shields, as that'll be poked out of bounds beforehand. So Bogle will have to inbound once again, now further in the backcourt. Chanute going to run the same play. And going to be batted away momentarily. Fulmer with it. A lot of contact there. No foul call. Now Bogle with it. Gets it up to Shields. And now Shields will be fouled. And Peyton Shields going to go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 as Alyssa Hotsey, the guilty party. Third foul on Hotsey. 8th team foul. First free throw on the 1-and-1 by Shields is good. She'll get one more. Blue Comets clear the lane out with a 10-point lead. Second free throw here for Peyton, and leaves that one short. Peyton's missed a couple free throws here tonight.
She's taken the only 4 that the team has had.
She's 2 of 4 from the line. Hotsey driving baseline, kicks it out to Hall. Hall going to step back, fire up a three-point shot, misses everything on that one. It's saved by Chanute right into the hands of O'Connell. She misses a point-blank shot. Now a three-point shot put up by Hotsey. That's missed. And finally, Chanute comes down with the rebound. So Smith with it. Now they go inside, and layup made by Kearney Fulmer. Pittsburgh wanted to charge. Under a minute to play. Chanute leading by 12. Preston Keating and Braylee Peter come to the table. Three-point shot put up by Hall. That one goes. 29-20 our score. That one's stolen away by Pittsburgh. Thankfully, Pittsburgh can't score at all here tonight. Now Peyton Shields with it. And she's going to get it stolen away. Hall likely going to try a three. She'll throw one up, and that's an air ball. That'll go out of bounds with 20.4 seconds. And that might be the last gasp for Pittsburgh. So Fulmer and Haviland check out as Braylee Peter and Keating check in. As that one thrown away, ends up in the hands of O'Connell. And Jalen Smith commits the foul out of frustration more than anything. It'll be her 4th. Front into the 1-and-1 is missed. Hall the rebound. Her follow-up shot won't go, but she's fouled, and now Jacqueline Hall will go to the line. So Hall at the line, and she gets them both. So 29-22, 6 seconds to play. We pass it over to Bogle, and that is how this one will end. Blue Comets get a win on senior night, get their 5th win of the season. Final score, Chanute 29, Pittsburgh 22. We'll send it back to the studio for 4 minutes. When we come back, we will have your Sealy Plumbing postgame show. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z 95.3. And we welcome you back to Chanute High School. Again, our final score here tonight in this one was Chanute 29, Pittsburg 22. Thanks, Jay, for writing that one down for me. If I sound like I'm talking quiet, because I am, it is senior night here tonight, and they are honoring all the seniors from cheer, boys basketball, and girls basketball. I believe that's it. I could be wrong. But they are honoring all of those. It is quiet outside of the PA in here, so if I talk loud, it echoes. But nonetheless, what a game here tonight for the Chanute Blue Comets, as they were able to come away victorious here for the 5th time this season. And I'm not going to say guarantee their spot yet, because there are multiple teams there that were at the 4-win mark, but makes you feel a lot better about postseason play.
Absolutely.
And at least give you an opportunity to get into that sub-state tournament. Now, obviously, Chanute's going to be towards the bottom of the bracket. Even if they were to win out, they would still be on the bottom half of the bracket, just with how the season has started. But hey, you give yourself a chance. We all saw a couple years ago, UMBC, 16 seed, knocked off 1 seed Virginia. Crazier things have happened, so they play those games for a reason. Heck, Chanute went up to Bishop Miege on the boys' side a couple years ago and pulled off what some people thought was one of the biggest upsets in Kansas high school history. Wow. Did you hear that?
Yeah, she's really smart.
Preston Keating going to K-State, I believe they said, to major in kinesiology. So, yeah, hey.
Really smart.
Really smart. Preston Keating, no doubt, really, really smart. But it is always great to see when they get all these seniors out here and give them this moment, as it's not just the fact that they get to start a game, as Braylee Peter, one of those ones that we didn't see a whole lot this year, but she got the opportunity to start tonight's game, play a couple of minutes there early on. But just because you don't play a lot during the season doesn't mean you're not a critical member of a team. I think Coach Fox, and when we get him over here, we'll ask him about it too, his opinion. But in my opinion, some of those minutes in practice are the reason that a team can get better as things move on throughout the season. But overall, all the seniors for girls basketball, Braylee Peter, Preston Keating, and Tyra Bogle. For boys basketball, which that game coming up here shortly, Parker Manley, Parker Henson, and Raleigh Chard. Of course, we haven't seen Chard very much at all this season, as he played earlier in his career, didn't play the last couple of years, but decided to play again his senior year. Of course, Raleigh, a state champion in track and field, so he's one of the fastest high school athletes in the entire state. But we'll see if he gets to start here tonight, see what direction Coach Crabtree wants to go with that. So it'll be a fun night. I like seeing these seniors get honored. It will be a tough night, as Pittsburg in town for the guys. Remember that game in Pittsburg? The boys won, but that was a very chippy game. It was a game where Pittsburg didn't play very well and feels like it got away from them. So we'll see how that one plays out here in about 19 minutes and 40 seconds or so. But before that, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that girls' game, Jay. And we talked about it at halftime. It was ugly. It was
very ugly. Nothing
pretty about that game, but it was a victory, and that is what was most important.
Right, there was a combined total of 40 turnovers in that game.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, not at all.
Who had more?
Oh, I'm done. Are you ready for me?
No, who had more turnovers?
For the Blue Comets.
All right, just said who had more turnovers?
Oh.
Chanute?
Chanute.
All right. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give us the stats?
All right, thanks. Hey, for the Blue Comets, Shields had 7, Kelsey Haviland had 7, Bogle 2, Smith 3, Palmer 6, and Chard 4. Chanute shot 36% from the floor, 30% from behind the arc, and 40% from the line. For Pittsburgh, Hall had 12, Gorley 1, Jorge 5, White 2, Hotsy 2. Pittsburgh shot 18% from the floor, 13% behind the arc, and 35% at the line. Big difference is Pittsburgh shot 12 more free throws than Chanute. If they had made a few of those, that's a totally different basketball game right there.
Yeah, shot 12 more free throws and lost by 7. So they would have shot 60% from the line. They win this game.
Right. Absolutely.
So, wow. That's pretty incredible stat there. Of course, this is our Row Motors and Trailer Sales halftime report. We actually are going to take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have a little bit more of the girls' postgame before we get into the guys' pregame. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at our Sealy Plumbing post-game show here for the girls. Still haven't seen Coach Fox pop his head out of that locker room yet. I imagine here on senior night, obviously things probably do get a little emotional, as it's a tough time when you have that group of seniors that's been with you for 4 years, and this is the last time they get to host a home basketball game. So we'll have an opportunity to talk with Coach when he does make his way over here. But again, great to see the girls get a big win here tonight. Win number 5 on the season, as it was a struggle all night. It was a struggle all night. I do apologize. I have one of my kids with me here tonight. She's asking me about when we're going to the Great Wolf Lodge. Like, come on, man. I'm working here. I'm sorry, I got thrown by that question. She looked at me, and I was like, hold on, I'm on the air. And all I heard her say was, when are we going to go back to the Great Wolf Lodge? Like, what? I'm talking. But anyway, yeah, girls picking up that big win tonight. They struggled with the press. They really struggled inside the arc, but they found a way to win, and that's something that they couldn't do on Friday night. On Friday night, they actually played decent inside the paint. They handled the press pretty well, but then in the end, they couldn't find a way to win. So ultimately, they did the important thing was they found the way to win, but got to clean up the little things still.
Absolutely, but there was times when they'd break that press and it looked really, really good. They'd get the ball right inside. They just didn't finish or would turn the ball over right underneath the basket.
Yeah, so we will see what adjustments this Blue Comet team makes as they'll get a couple days to prepare, but then we will be on the road. And for the girls, it'll be on the road the rest of the way out. It'll be at least 4 straight on the road as Friday night they will start that road trip in Coffeyville. Of course, next week we'll have games on the road at Independence and then at Parsons. And then the following week after that, we'll be on the road for Sub-State. But one game at a time, we'll focus on Coffeyville as I see Coach finally making his way over here. Jay, you're going to have to move.
No way.
Yep, that's how that
Never
works.
done that before.
Yep,
Wow.
That's how that works. So, yeah, I've already cut Jay's mic. He's unhappy with me at the moment, it appears. But nonetheless, Coach making his way over here. Pleased to be joined by head coach Dustin Fox. Coach, first off, congratulations on the win. Big win here on senior night. One thing I told Jay, it seems like you guys struggled a little bit inside the paint. You struggled a little bit breaking the press. But the one thing you did figure out, you found a way to win the game.
Yeah, that's what I told them in the locker room. We played some bad basketball tonight. There's no other way around that. It was not pretty basketball. But I was like, I'm proud of you because you found a way. And that is definitely not something that we would have done last year. That's probably not something we would have done last semester. And so it shows growth. And you never want to go out and play bad. But if you can play bad and figure out a way to get it done, that's a whole heck of a lot better than losing.
I'm going to give you a quick second before we talk about this game to just talk about each one of your seniors.
Yeah, so let's start with Brayley Peter, a kid who's been a part of our program for 4 years, hard worker, just always comes in with a smile on her face and a good attitude, great teammate, totally unselfish, and just a great kid. Something that people should know about Brayley, maybe one of the smartest kids I've ever coached, 4.0 kid, incredible writer. Just an incredibly talented writer, and just a neat kid who's going to go on and do great things in life. Preston Keating, another 4.0 kid. This is going to become a theme, by the way.
Did they say she's going to study kinesiology?
Yeah, some big word, But
I heard that and was like, well, all right, well,
yeah,
she's smarter than me, so that's cool.
She's wanting to do some of that athletic training type stuff, and just maybe one of the nicest kids I've ever coached. Just always has a heart of gold, always looking out for everybody else, and just a great kid all around. And then Tyra's been a varsity player for us all 4 years she was in high school, has played big-time minutes for us, and just a kid who does whatever we need done. Leads by example, hard worker, and just finds a way to make plays, even if she's not the fastest, not the tallest. She's just always in there being gritty. And then, another 4.0 kid, and just a hard worker in the classroom as well, and a kid who's destined for big things in life.
You would have been disappointed as me as a student. I was not a 4.0 kid.
Yeah, I understand. Well, hey, I wasn't a 4.0 kid either, so they make all of us look bad.
You also had one other senior out there.
So Macy Clounch, that's the other one, manager for us for all 4 years. Just a kid who just shows up every single day and helps out in any way she can. And those managers, man, they put so much time in and get very little recognition. So really honored to have been able to have her in our program the last 4 years.
I did the managing thing for JUCO softball down at Independence Community College. Yeah, that's not a fun job.
It's a thankless job a lot of
times.
times.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely it is. It paid for a year at college for me, but at the high school level especially, like you get pizza on game nights on the road, and that's about it as far as the public eye sees. But it's a tough job. But for all 4 of those seniors that have been part of this program, final home game here tonight, it was good to see all of them get that recognition out there on the floor and hear from you. And but here tonight in the game, like we mentioned, it was, you said, that's bad basketball. It wasn't pretty.
No.
And that's something that both Jay and I mentioned at halftime and in postgame. It was an ugly game, but you found a way to win. And it's because of, or at least in my mind, these players have been on this team for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is. And they've gone through the losing, and it's all right, enough is enough. We've got to find ways to get wins. And, again tonight they did that. And hopefully it's something they can build on as we go into Friday night on the road at Coffeyville.
Yeah, hopefully. We got to play a lot better, that's for sure, because Coffeyville is playing much better basketball. I don't know what the result was from tonight, but it's potentially a huge seeding game as well. We went into the night 1 game behind them in the postseason seedings. We beat them earlier in the year, though.
Who'd they play tonight?
Maybe Parsons. But if we can beat them, then that would put us a leg up on them in the seedings for sure. So big time game, and one we need to come out ready to play much better than we did for stretches tonight.
All I know is they were down 9 at halftime. That's the only update I've got for you. So
Gotcha.
I do not have a final score on that one. But, yeah, as you mentioned, if they were to fall tonight, that could make Friday's game even more important in the seedings, as you guys had a half-game lead, too, on Iola and Paola. Jay and I talked about it. If it came down to a 3-way tie there, it would go to point differential, correct?
I
think that's how that –
it's all sort of convoluted.
If it was point differential, you had a 0.14 point advantage over both of those 2 teams. So the margin of error was slim to none.
Yeah, I would rather just take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not let it come to that.
Just get a couple of wins and move on here the next couple of weeks. But again, Coach, we'll let you get out of here. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you Friday night down in Tornado Country and hopefully go for back-to-back wins.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, not a problem, Coach. And that's head coach Dustin Fox. As always, appreciate his time, as you could feel the excitement from him here tonight after a big win, as they will look for win number 2 in a row Friday night on the road at Coffeyville. We are going to wrap up our Sealy Plumbing postgame show, send it back to the studio for 30 seconds. When we come back, we'll transition into our Commercial Bank pregame show for the guys. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School for our Commercial Bank pregame show here for the guys. And it is going to be an interesting night of basketball here at Chanute High School, as these 2 teams going at it for the 2nd time this season. As a reminder, that game back in Pittsburg won by the Blue Comets. I'm trying to remember what the final score in that one was. I had it pulled up earlier. I believe it was like 47-45 or something along those lines, as we'll get that pulled up here real quick for you. Final score of that one was, 47-45, as Chanute had a narrow win back at Pittsburg. That was a a gritty one for sure, as there was lots of emotion. I believe there was a lot of interaction with the crowd. There was
yes.
there was a member of there was a Pittsburgh fan ejected from the game late in the game. That one, there was a lot going on in that ball game, but ended up being a Chanute Blue Comet win. Of course, if you look at the standings, Chanute currently sitting as the 4 seed. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. As they are 12-4 now. Bishop Miege is sitting as the 6 at 9-5, but looking at their schedule, it looked like they had a really good odds to win out, as they have like 6 games in the next 2 weeks.
You said they're the 6th seed though.
Yeah, but
that's good for us.
But they're only 1 game back in the loss column.
That's
if Chanute were to win out, they would stay ahead. But if they went out and Chanute were to only lose 1 more, Miege would eventually pass us because they would have the tiebreaker over us due to their win here. So things could get interesting down the stretch, but it does look as though Chanute will be able to host a sub-state basketball game. The question is, will they be in position to potentially host 2 sub-state basketball games? As with a win here tonight, Chanute will actually tie Eudora for the 3rd spot and just be a 1 game back in the loss column of Baldwin for the 2 spot. Now, Atchison at 15-1. Feels like they've pretty much got the 1 seed locked up because their schedule very favorable, but 2 through about 6 still kind of open.
Well, just like on the girls' side, Parsons losing to Pittsburgh last Friday. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen, but it will be an extremely interesting one here tonight, as Chanute will be undersized against a good Pittsburgh team. Pittsburgh's got 3 or 4 guys that will be taller than Chanute's tallest player, but so far this season that hasn't really been much of an issue for Chanute. One thing that Pittsburgh has, Mason English, who is arguably the best player in all of the SEK. However, Mason English, and I don't really know a nice way to say this, so I'm just not gonna, might be the biggest crybaby in the SEK.
I was just going to say, just say crybaby.
He likes to drive the lane and force fouls to be called and get to the line, but when they are not called, he likes to let the officials know that he wanted a call. He's not afraid to throw those arms up and beg for calls, so we'll see if it pays off for him tonight. That'll be a big impact on how this game goes.
Might not be the officiating crew for that tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you, because 2 of the 3 guys I don't think are going to put up with it at all, and another one, I don't really know if he will either, so we'll see how the game goes overall tonight, but all in all, should be an exciting night of basketball, as we will have the national anthem here once again, as they will have the saxophone, I don't know what they call them, the saxophone quartet. Yeah, saxophone quartet come out here and play the national anthem. So we'll send it back to the studio for 3 minutes. And when we get back, we will have your starting lineups and be that much closer to the opening tip-off. We'll wrap up our Commercial Bank pregame show, take a 3-minute timeout. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. back here at Chanute High School as starting lineups still making their way out onto the floor. As I'm not sure they really know what's going on out here.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I believe they announced the starting lineup incorrectly. So we will figure out what the official word on that is. Nonetheless, starters are announced, and it appears I want to make sure that everything's correct, but yep, this is what they'll be for Pittsburgh. It'll be number 1, Dan Hastings, number 10, Giovanni Salas, number 11, Jackson Turnbull, number 23, Joey Chronister, and number 30, Mason English. For the Blue Comets, it'll be sophomore, number 3, Larson Kester, sophomore, number 5, Caden Seamster, senior, number 22, Parker Manley, senior, number 31, Parker Henson, and sophomore, number 35, Elliott Stevenson. So they announced Nolan Turnbull as the starter, but it will be Jackson Turnbull. So Jackson Turnbull, Parker Henson will jump center, and that is won by Turnbull. Turnbull signed to play at Fort Hays State. I believe he will be a dual sport athlete over there. English with it, swings it over to Turnbull. Turnbull driving inside. That shot won't go. And Stevenson rips it out of there. I think they're going to get a tie up first. And the possession arrow will favor Chanute. So Manley to inbound. They'll get it into Custer. Hastings will defend Custer down the far sideline, and we'll get a bump as Dan Hastings too aggressive. And head coach Jordan Woods going to ask for an explanation already, and that was something we saw in Pittsburgh as well. Woods likes to stay on the officials the entire game. Blue Comets go inside to Henson. That's batted out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Blue Comets. Custer to inbound. Looking for somewhere to go. Goes up top to Henson. He'll swing it over to Seamster. Seamster back to Henson. They'll swing it over to Manley on the right wing. Now swing it back to Henson. Henson thought about the three-point shot. Didn't like his look. Now they go to Manley in the corner. Manley going to drive baseline. Kicks it out to Custer. Lars going to try a three, and he drills it. Larson Custer, first three of the game, puts the Blue Comets up 3-0. English with it, goes inside to Turnbull, and an offensive foul as Caden Seamster stands his ground as Jackson Turnbull lowers the shoulder. That'll be the first on Turnbull, the second on Pittsburgh.
You know, he got in foul trouble in the game in Pittsburgh,
yep.
too.
I think he gets in foul trouble a lot.
Well,
he plays.
He's a big boy.
Henson going to fire the three, leaves that short. Offensive rebound by Custer. He tries to go with the no-look pass to Manley. Manley didn't see it coming. That'll be a turnover. Possession back to Pittsburgh. Yeah, he likes to play as though he's bigger and stronger than everybody, but sometimes takes that a little too far. Into the game for Pittsburgh, number 4, Ryan Carew. Hastings checks out. English, and he'll be bumped. That foul charge to Caden Seamster, his first. So inbound to English. And an offensive foul as Salas, the moving screen. So we're a minute 35 seconds into this one. They've called 4 fouls already. It's going to be a long day.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Going to be a long night here in Chanute. Seamster with it as he took one extra step. That'll be a travel. Seamster doesn't like it, but yeah, that's the correct call.
Right. Well, I'd rather have the traveling call than an offensive foul right there.
So Pittsburgh back with the basketball, trailing 3-0. 6:10 to play here in the first quarter. Mason English gives off to Carew. Now they go inside, and a foul. As they'll get
I told you.
Parker Henson with that one. Student section agreeing that a little touchy. Turnbull with it, gives to Chronister, now English. English puts the ball on the floor, gets it inside to Salas, and Salas lays it in for 2. Blue Comets lead down to 1, 3-2, 5:50 to play here in the first. Stevenson with it. Swings it over to Custer. Custer up top to Seamster. Now they'll kick it out to Henson. Henson picks up his dribble, goes back to Seamster. Seamster swings it over to Stevenson, and he's directing some traffic. Now Dries picks up his dribble, kicks it up top to Custer. Lars puts the ball on the floor, now gives it over to Manley. Manley inside to Henson. Henson left-hand layup won't go, and gets his own rebound. That won't go, and eventually Turnbull comes up with it. 2 missed shots there for Henson. Mason English with it. He'll step back, picks up his dribble, has to give it off. Good defense there from Stevenson. English going to fire the deep 3. Airballs that one. Carew able to save it and gives it right into the hands of Seamster. Now Custer going to bring it up the floor. He'll drive baseline, backing down Chronister, kicks it up top to Henson. Thought about the 3, didn't like it. 4:30 to play here in the first quarter. Blue Comets still leading by 1. Henson with it. He'll hand off to Seamster. Seamster driving inside and won't go. And going to get a bump by Seamster. That's going to be 2. Caden Seamster likely going to take a seat and take a seat for quite a while. Brax Peter going to check into the game. And Caden Seamster just picked up his 3rd as he just picked up a technical foul on the bench.
I told you before the game that he was on our team already.
Yeah, the official that gave the technical, I'm not extremely surprised.
Well, I know myself as a coach, I'm getting teed up right there too.
So English at the line shooting free throws, gets the first one to go. Now here's the question. Is Crabtree, Crabtree will have to sit for the remainder of the game because it was a bench technical. So with 4:20 to play in the first quarter, Pittsburgh a 1-point lead and the basketball. English the deep 3, and that one off the front of the iron. Turnbull the offensive rebound, and he gets the the follow-up shot to go. 6-3 now, a 6-0 run here by Pittsburg. Stevenson with it. He'll swing it over to Henson. Now Custer. Now they'll go to Manley. Manley defended by Chronister. Picks up his dribble. Has to kick it back out to Custer. I'll swing it over to Peter. Peter looking for help. Gives it off to Stevenson. Now to the left wing, Custer. He'll go up top. It's stolen away by English. And English going to lay it in for two. Got a timeout by Chanute. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take 30 with him. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here, Chanute High School, 3:29 to play in the first quarter. Blue Comets trailing 8-3. Blue Comets will have possession of the basketball. Custer going to bring it up the near sideline, backing down Carew. He spins out of it, swings it over into the hands of Manley. Now back to Custer. Custer driving on the inside, gives to Stevenson. Stevenson layup goes. Cuts the lead down to 3. Jordan Duncan going to go to the scorer's table. Carew brings it up the floor for Pittsburg. Allows English to run that two-guard spot. English going to drive the line and an offensive foul as Brax Peter able to get under and set his feet. And Duncan to check in. Manley will check out. Coach Crabtree forgot he was supposed to be sitting. Has an assistant there to let him know, hey, you got to sit down. They go inside to Peter, and Brax Peter gets the lay-in to go. Good find there from Stevenson. Good finish from Brax Peter. Pittsburgh lead down to 1. Step back, long 2-point shot won't go for English, but Salas there to clean it up. The lead 3 now, 10-7 for Pittsburgh. 2:19 to play here in the first. Behind the back dribble as Custer gets inside. His scoop shot won't go. As Stevenson able to run it down, he gets it into the corner to Custer. Back to Stevenson as Elliott Stevenson, a true hustle play there. And Stevenson going to drive to the bucket. Lots of contact. And it'll be a blocking foul, I believe, and it'll send Elliott Stevenson to the line to shoot 2. So Ryan Carew picks up the foul. Stevenson's first free throw won't go. He'll get one more. Second free throw goes for Stevenson. He splits the pair. So a 2-point Pittsburgh lead. Purple Dragons have the ball. It'll be Chronister with it. Bounce pass over to Salas. Back to Chronister on the right wing, defended by Duncan. He'll give it over to Carew. Carew trying to drive it inside. Now steps back, gives off to English. English on the inside, gives over to Salas. Salas lays it in for 2. 12-8.
You know, that's something English didn't do in Pittsburgh. He didn't try to pass that ball like that at all.
Nope, he wanted to be the star in Pittsburgh, but here wants to be the distributor.
Well, I think Pittsburgh's a lot better team when he does distribute the ball.
Oh, absolutely. That one was thrown away. The possession back to Pittsburgh. Stylis with it up top. They go inside to Turnbull, and that one goes off the hands of Turnbull out of bounds. Possession back to Chanute. So under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Chanute trailing by 4. See if they can trim the lead down to 2 or 1 here before the end of the first. Duncan with it on the right wing. Now he'll give it over to Custer. They'll swing it into the hands of Peter. Now Brack's looking for some help, and he'll find Duncan. Jordan Duncan going to fire up the three-point shot. That won't go. Rebound to Pittsburg. English quickly the other way as he'll look to go all the way to the basket. It's stolen away by Duncan. Jordan Duncan looking to go coast to coast, and he'll lay it in for 2. Good fast break there by Jordan Duncan. Pittsburg looking to go quick the other way as it's English, as he'll try to back down Custer, and that'll climb over the top of the iron. Now 10 seconds on the clock. Chanute's got to go quick. Clock down to 5. They get it up ahead to Stevenson. Stevenson going to take the deep 3, and that one nowhere close, and that's how the first quarter will come to an end. Our score, Pittsburg 14, Chanute 10. We'll send it back to the studio for 1 minute. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, Blue Comets trailing 14-10 after 1 quarter of play. And yes, did get confirmation from the official. It was a 3rd foul on Caden Seamster as he picked up the technical, because you could tell directly who the player was. But since he had subbed out of the game and was on the bench, it also counts as a bench technical, meaning coach cannot stand up for the rest of the game. And if Coach Crabtree were to pick up a second technical, he would be ejected from the game. Ooh, that's a tough one. They'll get Lars Custer with a foul. That'll just be his first, team's 5th. And English at the line shooting 2. What'd you think?
I would have called it. You know how I feel about officiating.
I feel like we had a pretty good angle. English first free throw, climbs over the front of the iron. So second free throw here for English. That one goes as well. He gets them both, makes it 16-10. Chanute trailing by 6 here early in the second quarter. Stevenson brings it up the floor, gives it off to Duncan. Duncan now to Peter up top. Peter going to give way to Elliott Stevenson. They go inside to Duncan. Duncan tries to back down. Carew now kicks it out to Henson. Henson going to take the long 2 off the glass, won't go, and Stevenson going to be bumped. And that'll be the 6th team foul. As Dan Hastings picks up his 2nd foul. So they get it into Duncan. Duncan going to go into the corner to Custer. They go inside. Lots of contact under the basket. My goodness, as Carew lays it in at the other end. Man, Elliott Stevenson got mauled under the basket. 18-10, 7 minutes to play here in the second. Duncan kicks it out to Stevenson. He'll try the three-point shot. That won't go. Salas the rebound. And Pittsburgh wide open under the basket was Chronister. And that'll make it 20-10 Pittsburgh. Purple Dragons doubling up Chanute. So Duncan with it now. Stevenson drives inside and lays it in for two. And a big three there for English makes it 23-12.
That puts English in double figures.
Wow. Oh. And by the looks of it, of the Pittsburgh crowd, Mason English just went over the 1,000-point mark.
Oh my goodness, how was that not a foul?
And Carew the other end, he'll lay it in for two. And we'll get a timeout by Pittsburgh, and they're going to let Mason English celebrate his 1,000-point performance. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take 30 with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School. Things not going well for the Blue Comets as they trail 25-12 here with 5:44 to play in the second quarter. Where Chanute moved up one spot in the state rankings this week up to number 8. We'll swing it over to Peter. Peter going to try to give it inside to Duncan. It's batted out of bounds off of Pittsburgh. Get a substitution as Manley will come back in. Stevenson will check out. Three-point shot put up by Duncan. It's missed. He gets his own rebound. That'll be an offensive foul on Jordan Duncan. As checking into the game for Pittsburgh, number 25, TJ Wesley. So a 13-point Purple Dragon lead. And they have the basketball. English gives off to Turnbull. Turnbull trying to back down Peter. He gives back to English. English driving baseline, kicks it out to Chronister. Chronister three-point shot, that won't go. Peter the rebound. Chanute gives up to Duncan, and Duncan took a shot to the head, but no foul. Go out of bounds off of Pittsburgh. Custer will inbound. Gets it into Henson, and Henson fouled on the way up. Parker Henson will go to the line to shoot two. That's the 7th team foul on Pittsburgh, as well as English picked up his second. Henson's first free throw goes. He'll get one more. Second free throw for Henson. That one rattles around and falls as well. English with it for Pittsburgh. He'll go around Custer. Now puts up the floater, and it climbs over the front of the iron and in. English having a heck of a first half. What's he got?
13.
He's got 13. Pittsburgh leads by 13. Now Manley with it. Gives over to Duncan. Duncan getting mauled by Wesley. No call. Now goes inside to Custer. Custer's floating shot won't go. Rebound to Pittsburgh. English going to take the deep three. That one won't go. Rebound to Parker Henson. He'll give back to Duncan as we reach the halfway point here of quarter number 2. Chanute trailing by 13. Blue Comets probably need to try to get this within about, what do you think, 7? 7 by halftime?
I'd say so.
Brax Peter lays it in underneath. Makes it a Pittsburgh 11-point lead, 27-16. We'll give it over to Wesley, now inside to Turnbull. Turnbull spins, layup won't go. As Turnbull hits the deck. I thought he traveled, but they'll just say he lost control of it out of bounds. Possession to Chanute. So Stevenson checks in, Lars Custer will check out. It looks like Stevenson will run the point here.
Not what you expect to see running the point.
Nope. Henson with it. They'll go up top to Peter. Now back to Stevenson on the left wing. Stevenson defended by Wesley. Now Stevenson just going to drive inside. Kicks out to Duncan. Jordan going to try a three. That one won't go. Rebound by Peter. Kicks out to Henson. Now Manley. They'll go back to Duncan. And if Jordan Duncan could find his three-point shot, that would be huge in a game like this.
Yes, it would.
Manley going to try a three, and he misses everything on that one. Now to Duncan. Manley driving inside off the glass. Shot won't go. And now they'll fight for it on the floor. It'll be a tie-up. Possession arrow favors Chanute. Carew going to check back in as Wesley will check out for Pittsburgh.
Well, I'll say this. The boys haven't stopped trying to shoot the ball.
Shooters shoot, Jay.
That's what you always keep telling me.
Peter to inbound, gets it into Duncan. Bounce pass inside to Peter. Oh, what a shot from Brax Peter under the basket. As his back was to the basket, cuts the lead down to 9. English shot won't go. Rebound to Manley. Parker Manley outlet pass to Stevenson. Stevenson gives off to Duncan, now over to Henson. They go inside to Stevenson, and that pass too wide, out of bounds. Possession back to Pittsburgh. Chanute had an opportunity there to really gain some momentum. So Mason English will bring it up the floor for Pittsburgh. He'll pull up from the free throw line. Shot won't go. As Turnbull fighting for the rebound, it goes out of bounds. Possession will stay or go back to Chanute. 1:57 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that last time down the floor, that bucket would have been big right there.
Well, Chanute still an opportunity here now to cut into this 9-point lead. Got as high as 13. Manley on the inside. Way too much on that one. As they pass it ahead, and Duncan tips it. I thought he was trying to argue that it went off of Carew, but to be fair, even if it did, no official was in position to see it. That's not on the officials. Everybody was sprinting down the floor. They just outran the officials. We go inside to Turnbull, and another offensive foul as Brax Peter takes another.
That young man's having a half.
Brax Peter does that a lot, though. He just takes a beating out there. If you remember the game in Pittsburgh, Brax Peter took a beating.
That he did. You're correct.
Wasn't that the game he came over to the sideline and had like bruises on his face?
I think so.
Turnbull picks up his second foul. Both of them were on the offensive side of the court. So now Chanute, yet another opportunity to cut into that 9-point lead. Henson with it. He'll hand off to Peter. Peter going to drive inside. It gives off to Stevenson. 1:16 to play here in the quarter. They give to Manley. Manley reverse layup. That one goes. 27-20. Blue Comets chipping away. I would get Custer back in this game for the final minute. And they're going to get a foul way up top. Who'd they get on that one? Brax Peter too aggressive, and it'll send English to the line for a 1-and-1. English, the last player you want to send to the free throw line for Pittsburg. Front end of the 1-and-1 rattles around and in. Second free throw goes as well. Makes it a 9-point Pittsburgh lead. Under a minute to play. Manley with the ball. He'll cross the timeline. Gives off to Peter. Now Stevenson. Stevenson going to drive the baseline. It's tipped out of bounds off Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh crowd is not like that.
I have a feeling that Stevenson was bumped, and that's when the ball came out. Nobody for Pittsburgh touched the ball, but instead of calling the foul, they said possession to Chanute. So Peter to inbound. Gets it into Manley. He'll give it off to Stevenson. Stevenson back to Manley. Manley directing the offense. They'll swing it around. Duncan to Stevenson. Back up top to Peter. Peter puts the ball on the floor. Drives inside. Off the glass. Too hard. English the rebound. English looking to go coast to coast. Gives off to Carew. Carew spins. Goes up. And shot rattles out. Rebound fought for. And possession to Pittsburgh. I'll say Stevenson touched it just before it went out of bounds.
Really lucky that Stevenson didn't get teed up right there.
So English to inbound. Gets it into Wesley under the basket. Shots missed. He's fouled on the rebound. Let's say he was shooting again, or was it on the floor?
It doesn't matter. It'd be 1-on-1.
Well, they'll say he was shooting, so it's 2 shots. Cohen Wheeler went to the table for a moment. And they've got an issue with the student section. And they're telling the students they cannot say players' names. That's soft. I'm sorry. That's soft.
Well, they've got soft over the years for.
Landon Bilby going to check into the game for Chanute as Brax Peter going to check out. Wesley at the line for his second free throw. That one won't go either. Bilby the rebound. And it's tapped away as Stevenson comes up with it. Somebody call a timeout, or we get a tie-up?
I think we got a tie-up.
Yep, possession arrow will favor Pittsburgh. So Chronister to inbound, gets it into English. English takes a look up at the clock, sees it's at 6 seconds. He'll drive, take a shot from the elbow, nowhere close. Duncan the rebound, and that is how the first half will come to a close. Our score, Pittsburgh 29, Chanute 20. We'll send it back to the studio for 4 minutes. When we come back, we'll have your Row Motors and Trailer Sales halftime report. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. back here at Chanute High School. Here at halftime, our score, Pittsburg 29, Chanute 20, as I think we just saw one of the most unique, what do you call that? Getting asked to prom?
Yeah, prom proposal.
Prom proposals. As, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
They had the drums out here, and a young man playing the triangle, asking young lady to prom. So very, very fun for those two young high schoolers, as I'm sure they will have a fun prom.
You're not
here.
romantic like that, are you?
Yeah,
I know I'm not.
I can be, all right. But I cried at the Notebook. How about that? Does that count?
Wow.
Hey.
I've never watched The Notebook.
Dude, watch it.
No.
Dude.
No.
It'll get you.
It'll give me what?
It'll get you in the feels, man.
Oh.
The
I don't have no feelers.
The Notebook will get you in the field. You may think you don't have feels, but I'm just saying when it's raining and he's like, it wasn't over for me. And she says it wasn't over for me, and he's like, it wasn't over. It still isn't over. And then they like make out in the rain and stuff. Woo! Whew, man, let me tell you, that's a good one. It's a Nicholas Sparks book.
All right, little fella. I might read the book.
All right, hey, there you go. Read the book. It's good. You can use your imagination. Watch them make out in the rain in your mind. Anyway, here at halftime, our score 29-20, Pittsburgh leading. It's been an interesting first half as Caden Seamster got in early foul trouble, and as he was heading to the bench, had some words with the official and picked up a third foul as it was a technical. However, as he was on the bench, that it is assessed technically as a bench technical, so Coach Crabtree has had to sit for pretty much the entire game. And Chanute playing shorthanded without Caden Seamster. Brax Peter came in and put in some quality minutes in his place. But nonetheless, Chanute still trailing by 9 as Mason English has pretty much had his way here in this one.
That he has. For the Blue Comets, Custer has 3, Manley 2, Henson 2, Stevenson 5, Duncan 2, and Peters 6. They shot 31% in the first half, 14% from behind the arc. For Pittsburgh, Turnbull has 2, Salas 6, Cronister 2, English 15, and Carew 4. They shot 50% from the field, 24% from behind the arc, and 75% from the line.
Now, what English shoot?
Oh,
You're welcome, by the way. I'm going to let you tally that up. It's English. I bet he shot 15 shots or more probably.
11.
That's it? Seemed like more.
He's 4 of 11 from the field.
Huh.
But he's also 6 of 6 from the free throw line.
And how many points did he had?
15.
15. So over half of the Pittsburgh points coming by way of Mason English.
And he has half of their shots.
Half their shots. So, yeah, it all adds up there, and we'll see how this one plays out. We'll see if Caden Seamster starts the second half. Oh, excuse me. Been a long day. See if Caden Seamster starts the second half with those 3 fouls, or if they try to preserve him for a little bit later on in this game and see if somebody else can't help this Blue Comets team get them back in this one. As again, they trail by 9 as things stand right now, but they'll look to see if they can get back in it and try to get their 7th consecutive win. Blue Comets have been hot, but not so much here in the first half of this one. We're going to wrap up our Row Motors and Trailer Sales halftime report, send it back to the studio for 1 minute. When we come back, we'll have your third quarter. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z 95.3. about ready to start the third quarter as not normal here, as about half the Chanute team came out of the locker room with about 2 minutes left, but Parker Manley, Parker Henson, Lars Custer, and all three coaches came out of the locker room literally with 5 seconds to go before we started this half. So just a little more coaching in the locker room, I suppose.
I don't know.
Chanute will start with possession of the basketball. It'll be Lars Custer. He'll drive to the far side of the court, and he'll drive all the way inside. Kick out to Duncan, who starts the second half. Jordan Duncan misses a three-point shot as Duncan starting in place of Seamster. It seems like that was a dialed-up play for Duncan. Not that I have any doubts in Jordan Duncan. It just seems odd that Jordan Duncan, that's the guy you draw up a play for, but you don't trust him enough to start your games normally.
Right.
2-point shot put up there by Joey Chronister extends the lead out to 11. Well, Manley with it over to Custer. Now Henson. Bounce pass inside to Custer. It gets poked away. Pittsburg going the other way with it. English with it on the inside, and we're going to get a foul under the basket on the floor. There's a foul going to be charged to Jordan Duncan, his second.
I kind of look for us to get in a lot of foul trouble here in the second half.
3-point shot put up by Hastings, and Dan Hastings drills that one. It's the largest lead of the night for Pittsburg, 14. 34-20. A 5-0 run to start the third quarter. Lars Custer with it, hesitates, gets inside, puts the shot off the glass, and that one goes. 34-22 now.
The question is,
they're going to say Stevenson too aggressive as he bumps English.
Stevenson with his first personal foul. 2 fouls for the Comets.
So English going to take the deep three. That one not close. Rebound goes to Stevenson. Duncan with it in the corner. He'll give it over to Henson. As they go inside, and Elliott Stevenson lays it in for two. Was that one goes
off Jordan.
Yeah, I think they're going to say off of Chanute, so it'll stay with Pittsburg. English on the inside, and his shot rattles around and in. So Custer with it, gives it up to Stevenson. Now over to Manley, now Custer. Custer going to drive baseline. And didn't want to draw the charge there. He saw the defense coming, and they'll reset. Duncan passes it inside to Custer. It's poked away. Possession stays with Chanute.
It's just amazing that the ticky-tack they're calling on one end, they're not calling on the other.
They'll get it into Henson. Henson gives it out to Manley. Now Duncan up top. Jordan looking around, gives off to Parker Manley. Now Stevenson. Back to Duncan. Lars Custer fakes the three. Creates some separation. He'll drive inside, hesitates, pushes in, and gets the layup to go. They'll get a delay of game warning on Lars Custer. And Lars shakes his head and nearly picked up a technical foul. The official just said, don't shake your head. I have my own thoughts on that, but I'm going to keep it to myself for now.
Yeah, so we don't get a technical.
Yeah. So 36-26 our score. 4:30 to play here in the second quarter. Hastings with it. He'll drive inside, gives to Turnbull. Turnbull, the 5-footer. That won't go. Rebound to Stevenson. It's an ego trip. That's what that is.
Yes.
Stevenson hesitates, goes inside, off the glass, and Elliott Stevenson lays it in for 2. Chanute back within 8. English gives it into the corner to Hastings. Hastings 3-point shot. That won't go. Rebound to Stevenson through Manley. See if Chanute can get a shot here and cut into this lead even more. Custer behind the back dribble. Now gives off to Stevenson. Stevenson drives once again, and Elliott Stevenson gets the lay-in to go. And we've got a timeout by Chanute as they've cut this 14-point lead down to 6. It's 36-30, 3:42 to play. It's a full minute timeout. 30-second timeout, excuse me. We'll take 30 with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. .342 to play in the third quarter. Blue Comets trailing by 6. Was once a 14-point Pittsburg lead here in the third quarter. Dwindled down just to 6. So Blue Comets have come alive. They're on a 10-2 run here. Chronister with it for Pittsburg. Driving on the inside, puts up the shot, and they'll say he traveled first. That'll be a turnover. So possession back to Chanute. We'll see if they can extend on this 10-2 run.
Yeah, a basket right here would be huge.
Lars Custer with it. He'll cross the timeline, defended by Chronister. Behind the back dribble, nearly loses it. Gives off to Stevenson. Stevenson left-hand dribble, gives out to Duncan. Cross-court pass over to Henson. Henson gonna fire the 3, and it goes! One possession game, 36-33. 3 minutes to play in the third.
Big basket right there.
Big shot by Parker Henson.
A stop
English
here would
with
be
it.
humongous.
Absolutely it would. And all right, there's a foul.
You knew it was going to happen.
Lars Custer should shake his head at that one.
Yeah,
Foul was
well,
on Stevenson, but Lars Custer should still shake his head at that one.
Right. I know, I've been watching Caden over there on the bench, and I know he's frustrated because he's not out there, but he's going to have to show a little more want to.
English with it, gives out to Hastings. Dan Hastings, 3-point shot, and he hits it. Extends the lead back out to 6. Ooh. It ends the 13-2 run. 39-36, 2:18 to play. Custer with it, behind the back, trying to get inside. Lars gives off to Stevenson. Stevenson lay-in goes. Good job, Lars Custer, attracting the defenders to himself and then giving off to Stevenson. English driving, hesitates, leaves it a little short, but he's able to follow it up and gets the lay-in to go, 41-35. Chanute's got to find a way to slow down Mason English. Henson with it up top. He'll hand off to Stevenson. Stevenson gives into the corner to Manley. Manley going to drive baseline, kicks in the corner to Duncan. Duncan to fire the 3. That one's long. Rebound to Pittsburg. Duncan was so far into that corner, I don't think he had a
he was
decent
too
look at
far
the
in.
basket. Yeah. It's not an impossible shot, but it's a tough shot. So 1:15 to play in the third. Pittsburgh leading by 6. English picks up his dribble, gives over to Hastings. Now Chronister in the corner. Chronister drives baseline, throws it right into the hands of Elliott Stevenson. Stevenson running, numbers not in his favor, lays it in for 2 through the contact. Lead down to 4. I like the no call there.
Me too.
We'll see what Pittsburgh decides to do here with 43 seconds to play.
Oh, English is going to attack the basket right here.
Well, but do they slow play it for one last shot? Turnbull gives back to English. English looks up at the clock, goes back towards the midcourt line. Stevenson going to pressure. And English just trying to stall. English going to drive now, spins, and contact. See who they get on the foul if they get Custer. It will be Lars.
I hate to say this, but that's a good thing.
That is not a shooting foul.
No, he said it's on the floor.
English was trying to say he was shooting. Good call there by the official. As checking into the game, Nate Mitchell for the first time. So inbound goes to English. 15 seconds on the clock. English near the midcourt line, now down to 7. Goes around the screen from Turnbull. English going to fire up the 3. That one nowhere close. And good defense there from Chanute. So after 3, our score, Pittsburgh 41, Chanute 37. We'll send it back for 1 minute. When we come back, we'll have your fourth quarter. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School, fourth quarter about to begin. Pittsburgh will start with possession of the basketball, leading by 4. English will inbound. He'll throw it into Carew. Carew to run the point allows English to run that 2-guard spot where he's been the most deadly. We'll give it to Hastings. Hastings up top to English. English steps into a 3 and he's fouled. I think he kicked the leg out. That's a tough call on Custer. That'll be the 3rd on Lars. So English at the line, shooting 3. First free throw.
20.
Do what?
That gives him 20.
Whiteboard says flop. Second free throw rattles home. And English will get one more. So Seamster's still on the bench with 3 fouls. So English hits all 3. Makes it a 7-point Pittsburgh lead. So Duncan with it up top, swings over to Manley. I think we've seen a substitution yet this entire quarter. Behind the back pass to Hastings, and Hastings lays it in for 2. 46-37. Stevenson with it, puts the ball on the floor. Picks up his dribble, it's taken away. Ends up into the hands of Duncan. Duncan tried to kick it out to Henson, and English there to pick it off. The instincts from Mason English are really nice.
They are. Did you just now turn me on?
No, you were on, just not up all the
Not
way.
loud.
That ball going to be stolen away. Good job there by Jordan Duncan underneath. Well, Lars Custer back down the defender, is going to find a crease inside, puts up the shot. And they'll say 2 shots for Larson Custer as he was fouled while shooting. Foul's going to be charged to Ryan Carew, his second. You had something to say, Jay.
I was going to say, you know, that's first foul on Pittsburgh here in the second half.
Huh. Right you are. As it's Brax Peter checking into the game, not Caden Seamster. Here with 6:33 to play in the fourth.
I'm not sure Coach Crabtree is happy with his attitude.
Seamster must have said something pretty good. Well, Custer gets both free throws, cuts it back down to 7. English spinning around, gets inside. It's taken away by Duncan. And they'll say off of Chanute, possession will stay with Pittsburgh. Lars Custer was begging, trying to say that one went off of English, but I don't think he was going to get that call. English layup won't go. Custer able to pull in the rebound. So Chanute an opportunity to cut back into this lead once again. Manley up top, nice pass inside to Custer, and it gets taken away by English. Well, good pass there by Manley, but no shot came from it. And now Pittsburgh gonna slow play this, I'm sure. A 7-point lead and under 6 to go. And we'll say that ball out of bounds off the hands of Peter. And we'll have a timeout. It'll be a full timeout by Pittsburgh. We'll take 60 seconds with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here at Chanute High School. 5:45 to play here in this one. Blue Comets trailing 46-39.
Let's see if they got one more run at them.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to take. They had a little burst there in the third and cut it down to 4. Then a big 3 from Dan Hastings, and since that point, they've been unable to get it within 7. Caden Seamster been on the bench since about the 5-minute mark of the first quarter with 3 fouls after picking up that technical foul, and I'm not sure if we'll see him again tonight based on the energy over there.
I don't think so either.
So English to inbound, gets it into Hastings. He'll go up top to Carew. Back to English. He'll fire up the 3-point shot. That one won't go. And they call that on Jordan?
I think, yes, they must have. Nope, on Elliott.
Elliott Stevenson. It's a tough call for Chanute, so Pittsburg will keep possession of the ball, and Carew shuffles the feet. That'll be a travel. Possession back to Chanute. So as Jay mentioned earlier, just one team foul on Pittsburg this half. Lars Custer spins, kicks it out to Peter. And Peter looking for help, gives off to Henson. Henson over to Custer. Custer looking for some help as he picks up his dribble, swings it over to Henson. Ball's poked away momentarily. Henson able to regroup. Now Peter with it. Back to Henson on the left wing. Blue Comets really struggling as Pittsburg playing tight defense here. But with just one foul, they can afford to do that. Larson Custer gets inside, finger roll, shot goes. 46-41, lead down to 5.
Yeah, but Chanute can't take that long to score the ball every time.
Nope, sure can't. English, very patient. And Lars Custer going to have to come out and defend. English quickly inside, and English loses his footing, but no traveling violation. Goes inside, tries to put up his shot. Peter going to try to save it, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Chanute. That was a very physical possession.
Yeah, with no fouls called.
So English with it as we get to the halfway point of quarter number 4. They go inside to English. And English lays it in for 2. Makes it 48-41. Custer with it. And he's going to be bumped and fouled. That'll just be the second foul on Pittsburg. Inbound goes to Duncan. He'll swing it up top to Custer. He fakes the 3, now drives inside. Tries to go behind the back, but right into the hands of Pittsburg. English the other way with it, gives off to Cronister. His layup missed, and the rebound to Elliott Stevenson. New life here for Chanute as they pass it ahead to Peter. Peter going to put the ball on the floor, gets cut off by Hastings. Peter not comfortable out there, gives off to Stevenson. Stevenson kicks it out to Henson. Henson going to fire the 3-point shot, and it goes! Cuts the lead to 4, 48-44. We've got a full timeout on the floor by Chanute. We'll take 60 seconds with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. .258 to play here in this one. Blue Comets trailing 48-44, but momentum on side of the Blue Comets.
I thought we might see Caden Seamster right there with a 4-point game. Give him a boost of energy.
Yeah, I don't think we will tonight. So Carew gets the inbound. He'll cross the timeline with 2:53 to play. He'll give off to English. English going to drive the baseline, puts up the shot, and no call as they let it go. Lead back up to 6.
And English is hurt.
I didn't like that no call, even if you called it on the defense. That was way too much contact that time.
Absolutely.
Henson going to fire another 3. Shot was altered as Turnbull got into the shooting lane. You could tell Henson altered that shot.
Yeah, he's shorthanded that one.
With 2:15 to play now. Blue Comets trailing by 6. Stevenson defending on English. A double team comes. He gives off to Turnbull. And that ball is going to be stolen away by Jordan Duncan into the hands of Custer. Custer hesitates. And an offensive foul. No way, man. Get out of town.
Wow.
That's just a really, really bad call. That's the 4th one on Custer.
Now he's going to go over and try to explain himself to Coach.
Well, Coach was saying, did he extend the elbow? He didn't. And a tie-up. And possession arrow will favor Chanute. Great job there by Elliott Stevenson. Elliott not giving up in this one. And a timeout by Chanute. It'll be a full timeout. And we will take 60 seconds with them. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Back here, Chanute High School, Blue Comets with the basketball, trailing 50-44 to Pittsburg. .147 to play in this one. Parker Manley set to check in at the next dead ball. Why wasn't he able to check in at that timeout?
I don't know.
So Stevenson on the inside as shot was put up. It was tipped by English. And Stevenson,
that'll be 4,
commits the foul. So Brax Peter will check out. Parker Manley will check in, as Jay mentioned. Stevenson picking up foul number 4. English free throw goes. He'll get one more. Second free throw by English goes. Has he missed any tonight?
Not free throws.
Wow. So an 8-point deficit for Chanute. 80 seconds to play. Custer with it. Drives on the inside, hesitates, now kicks it out to Henson. Low pass, and we'll get a reach in, but that'll just be foul number 3.
Yeah, a little discrepancy in the foul calls here in the second half.
Just a hair. Chanute going to have to get points and get points quickly, however. Inbound goes to Custer. Custer not in much of a hurry. Duncan going to shoot the three, and that one goes. Chanute going to have to apply pressure. There's a lead down to 5.
Oh!
And English gets Elliott Stevenson to foul out. He got ball, but he also got a big slap in there as well. So
I thought it was all ball.
I heard it.
You're deaf.
So English at the line. It'll be a 1-and-1. Again, he's perfect at the line. So he's due. I tried.
Good try.
53-47. A 6-point lead with 56 seconds to play. Second free throw goes as well. So a 7-point Pittsburgh lead. Manley to inbound, gets it in to Custer. Custer quickly down the sideline. This will be a screen, and they'll get a push by Chronister as he went too hard, tried to go through the screen of Peter. It'll be the third on Chronister. So Duncan to inbound. Gets it into Custer. Under 50 to play. Thought about the three-point shot. Now Peter going to drive and an offensive foul. And Jordan Duncan asking, why didn't we get that same call down here?
He is not, Jordan Duncan is not
That's
happy.
the most worked up I've ever seen Jordan Duncan. As English going to be fouled. And Mason English going to go to the line. He will shoot 2 now. As that foul will be charged to Parker Manley, his first.
Holy
Now
cow,
English
fine
misses one. Second one by English goes. So 35 seconds on the clock. Is the scoreboard right?
I believe so.
Duncan throws one up. He's fouled. See, and it is a shooting foul. Gave him the continuation. I was thinking it was 55-47, so it says 54-47, so a 7-point deficit. Duncan's first free throw left short. As good of a three-point shooter as Jordan Duncan is, he has struggled a little bit from the line the last couple of games. And Duncan gets that one to rattle around and in. Inbound to English. English down the sideline, and they are refusing to call fouls, and finally one will come with 15.4 seconds to play. Jordan Duncan got a full armful of Mason English, and then the call didn't come, and Jordan just kind of looked at the official like, what?
Right, been calling
I'm
ticky-tack
trying,
all night.
yeah. English free throw, that one goes. Second free throw for English. Shot up and in, excuse me. 56-48. So 15.4 seconds. Custer picks it up, goes around the screen of Duncan, fires a three. That one won't go. English the rebound. And Chanute will let this one run out. So final score here in Chanute. Pittsburgh 56, Chanute 48. The 6-game winning streak comes to an end for Chanute as they fall to 5A Pittsburg, and their SEK title hopes likely come to an end as well, as they will fall 2 games behind Pittsburg with 3 to play. And again, final score here tonight, 56-48. Write that down, Jay.
Got it.
We'll send it back to the studio for 4 minutes. When we come back, we will have your Sealy Plumbing postgame show and an opportunity to talk with head coach Devin Crabtree. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. We welcome you back to Chanute High School here for our Sealy Plumbing postgame show as Blue Comets fall tonight. Final score, Pittsburg 56, Chanute 48, and Chanute fell down early when Caden Seamster got into some foul trouble, picked up a technical foul, and never really managed to get back into it, cut the lead all the way down to 4 at one point. But that's as close as they ever got, as we also never saw Caden Seamster again the rest of the evening, as whatever he said, it must have been good enough that they decided he was going to have a seat for the rest of the night. So
Yeah, Coach didn't seem too happy with him.
And that's something that probably won't even address, to be completely honest with you, when we talk to Coach. Is again, quick reminder to those that may not remember, it is just a high school game. Most of these kids are minors, so when it comes to that's one thing. They came over and talked to the student section and said, hey, if you're gonna kind of poke fun at the opposing team, it's whatever. You want to shout air ball one time or yell defense, cool, but we can't make it personal. Can't use names, and that's kind of the same thing here. We're not gonna attack a negative thing by one player, especially the way that Caden Seamster has handled himself this season. As I think so far this season, he's done a great job of handling some of those situations. But here tonight, whatever was said, may just let it get away from a little bit, and sometimes that happens.
Well, and sometimes the emotion of the game, it happens sometimes.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to say I've never got a technical in my life.
Yeah,
I've got them as a player and as a coach.
I've been kicked out of a flag football game and slow pitch softball games from my mouth before, so I can't say a whole lot. So
me either. So, I understand it. It's unfortunate that the young man had that happen and he didn't get to play the rest of the night.
A learning experience.
Learning experience, exactly.
From there, we will get to the stats once we're done talking to Coach, as he is headed out this way. So we'll get Coach's thoughts on this game. As again, a 6-game winning streak comes to an end here tonight at the hands of Pittsburg, as we are pleased to be joined by head coach Devin Crabtree. Coach, a 6-game winning streak comes to an end tonight at the hands of a tough Pittsburg team. Mason English just proved to be a little bit too much for you guys tonight. Tough on you, as there was a technical assess technically to the bench, as Caden was over there on the bench area. You had to sit the entirety of the game, essentially the entirety of the game. So a little bit tougher to coach in that situation.
For sure.
Yeah, it's hard to not get up. But overall tonight, what did you think of your team's performance?
Honestly, man, I there's just thinking about the game. I'll watch the film, but there's not a lot that I'm not, pretty proud of them. I thought we gave ourselves chances a few different times, and we're, just a couple made shots, a couple defensive stops away from being right there, to take it the rest of the way. I'm proud of their effort, and I thought, I know Mason got his, but, man, I thought we still did some really good things defensively, and the guys did a good job of executing that stuff. We were right there. We were right there.
Yeah, you look back at the game in January, and, of course, it was 47-45, just a 2-point game. And so we knew coming into this game you were pretty evenly matched up with Pittsburgh as far as just overall. And there was a little bit of a run there late in the first quarter where Pittsburgh was able to separate. And from that point, they got as much as a 14-point lead, and it got down to 4. But essentially, it seemed like it stuck around the 7-8 point mark the whole time. So again, take away that little run late in the first, and it was pretty much the same thing as we saw back in January, an evenly matched game. It just felt like they picked up that little bit of momentum in the first quarter, and you guys were never able to find that bit of momentum yourself to overtake the lead.
Right. Yeah, They went on a run. They've got guys that can score it, and they've got size. They've got a little bit of everything. But and I just felt like we were right there a few times, just couldn't quite get over the hump. But again, I'm just proud of the guys, man. I thought that they battled, and we had some guys really step up. Brax had another great game for a lot of minutes for him tonight, playing 6 total quarters and just really playing a ton. Elliott, what a great performance by him, and him and Lars both had the test of guarding the English kid most of the night, and I know that's a tough task for them, but, man, they did a good job.
It was senior night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with Coach Fox, so I'll do it with you as well.
Yeah.
I'll give you just a little opportunity just to talk about your 3 seniors you had on the floor tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we just got over talking about those guys, and obviously Parker have been our 4-year guys. They're the first guys that I've been fortunate enough to coach for all 4 years of their high school career. They were here when I first got here, and just the time and effort that those guys have put in and how much better they've gotten over the years is just it's what coaches. Those are the type of kids the coaches dream of coaching. They just do everything you ask them to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts when anything you're telling them what's going on or anything, and they go out and work hard and play their role and do their jobs the best they can and practice every day. And then obviously on the floor, man, it's just been I've been lucky to be able to coach those guys and just incredibly proud of them. And then obviously Raleigh going out this year was a surprise to us, but one that we've enjoyed. He's been a great guy to have around. Obviously, he hasn't given on the floor a ton for us, but what a great bench guy and practice guy we've had, and his attitude has been nothing but positive and really been good for our guys. He's kind of a jokester and gets everybody laughing sometimes. So it's always good to have that guy in that role, and we're happy that he played, and just proud of all those guys. It's been a fun year.
I'm going to guess in practice Raleigh wants to run a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely capable of that. Now, running with the ball and dribbling it, maybe not so much. But if we need get back on defense or get out in transition.
On conditioning day, Raleigh is the most excited one.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he's most excited, but he's certainly the fastest one up and down the court for sure.
I know he's a heck of an athlete, and his big season's coming up in track season.
Yeah, looking forward to that for him. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. I think everybody in the state's looking
right,
forward to seeing him run, see if he can three-peat.
No doubt. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but, you mentioned those 3 seniors, and Coach Fox, of course, he had a group of seniors as well tonight. And it's always fun to see, and nothing to take away from Raleigh playing this year, but those 4-year players, those are the ones that it's really special.
For sure.
Like you said, with Parker Henson and Parker Manley, both of those. Parker Henson, has started. Did he start a little bit his sophomore year too? I can't remember if he came in a little.
I honestly can't remember.
He played a lot.
He played some for sure. I don't know about starting or
but for sure the last 2 years has been starting. And then Parker Manley started most of the season this year. Of course, he got sick there right before break. But outside of that, has started most of this season. And really, even last year, just kind of was morphing into that bench player last year, and really he stepped up this year. So it's good to see those guys stick with it. Don't want to harp on that too much, because on the guys' side, is if things turn around and you can get back in the win column, it looks like we will have one more home game for Sub-State. Things would have to go drastically wrong the last 3, and some other weird things would have to happen. But should have one more home game when Sub-State gets here. But before we can get there, got to take it one game at a time. Coffeyville Friday night, as that'll be a tough matchup. The Golden Tornado, since they beat you on this floor, they haven't exactly played the best basketball in the world. They came here, played in the Ralph Miller, scored 23 points twice in that tournament. Just everything looked out of whack, but it's a team that has given you fits. And I'm sure in their minds, they're like, hey, we've got Chanute. That's the team that we can correct things on, because for whatever reason, the last 3 or 4 matchups, Coffeyville has had Chanute's number.
Yep. I've got to do a better job of getting the guys prepared for this one, and just really break it down and look at strengths and weaknesses and our opportunities to defend those guys, and then find ways to score against their quick guards. So we'll get in and we'll get to work these next 2 days, and hopefully we'll travel over there, be some road warriors, and try to steal us one.
We talked about conditioning earlier. That's probably going to be a game where we want conditioning, because, like you said, they like to run. It'll be a lot of running, and I would imagine a low-scoring game, as they like to pressure a lot on defense. So if it goes their way at all, it'll be a low-scoring game, although you guys proved Friday night against Labette you guys can win that type of game. So you guys can play with anything, anybody. So, again, Friday night at Coffeyville should be a fun one. Get back into the win column, and maybe go on another 6-game winning streak, although if you do the math, a 6-game winning streak would put us in the Final Four, I believe,
That would be
of
all
the
right,
state
wouldn't it?
tournament.
That
So
would be all right.
I'd be good with that as well, Coach.
Yeah,
So
let's plan on that.
let's plan on that indeed. So, Coach, thanks for your time. Tough one here tonight, but let's get back in the win column here on Friday night against Coffeyville.
Thanks, Brett.
Yep, not a problem. Again, that's head coach Devin Crabtree. As always, appreciate his time. Tough one here tonight as the Blue Comets fall. Final score 56-48. We'll send it back to the studio for 30 seconds. When we come back, we'll get the stats from Jay. You're listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3. Chanute Blue Comets falling to Pittsburg here tonight, 56-48. We'll send it over to Jay for the stats.
For the Blue Comets, Custer had 11, Manley 2, Henson 8, Stevenson 15, Duncan 6, and Peters 6. They shot 45% from the floor, 29% from behind the arc, and 75% from the free throw line. For the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons, Hastings had 8, Turnbull 2, Salas 6, Chronister 4, English 33, and Carew 4. They shot 49% from the field, 30% for 3, and 85% from the line.
Once again, our final score, Pittsburgh 56, Chanute 48. And that is going to do it here tonight from Chanute High School. The final time in the regular season here at Chanute High School. We'll be on the road Friday night at Coffeyville. I don't think either one of us, we don't like Coffeyville at all. I hate it.
Coffeyville.
All right, good. Me too. It's not, I mean, nothing against the Tornado. It's just like the town.
No, I don't like the Tornadoes either.
Well, I know, but I'm just, not a big fan of Coffeyville. So we'll muster up the courage. We'll go down there and we'll call the game Friday night for you. We'll have all the action right here on Z95.3 as well as our live stream. That's KINZ.biz. And just click on the Chanute Blue Comet Sports tab. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors. Thank you. Without you guys, these games would not be possible. Thanks to Alyssa back in the studio. Thanks to Sabrina for running the camera tonight. Thanks to Zoe, my daughter, hanging out with us tonight. You say go Comets? All right, she shook her head no. So
she don't like you.
No comments. Zoe and I we're going to go home and get some shut-eye because we're headed up to Kansas City tomorrow for the big parade. So it'll be her.
I hope it rains.
Stop, man. It'll be her first championship parade. I mean,
It might be her last.
Well, how old are you, Jay?
I'm 48.
48. How many times has your teams won a world championship?
My teams, or we just talk about football?
Let's say football. In your lifetime.
In my lifetime, 3.
3.
Yes.
Okay. My lifetime, the Chiefs have won 2. I'm 31 years old.
In my lifetime,
listen,
the
hear me
Chiefs
out.
have won 2.
Hear me out. In the first 28 years of my lifetime, they've won 0. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they've both seen the Chiefs win twice. I'm like, all right, I'm jealous of you kids because you guys are like living in the greatest time. She was alive. Well, she wasn't alive. My wife was 8 months pregnant, but she went to the Royals victory parade, and she was in the womb of 8 months, but she was there, all right?
She was there, okay.
So this will be her second parade, her first Chiefs parade, the first one breathing. But nonetheless, it'll be a fun day tomorrow. Anybody that's going up to Kansas City, please be careful. And,
yes, be careful.
There is a chance for, I believe, some wintry weather here in the next
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, but I'm just saying, everybody, be careful out there.
Yeah, you be careful going up there.
Oh, we'll be fine. But again, thanks to everybody involved here at KINZ. He's Jay McGeary. I'm Brett Shields for the final time here tonight. You've been listening to Blue Comet Basketball right here on Z95.3.